Park, the real life fun of harness racing. Here they come. An exhibition park.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the History of EPR podcast. We're bringing in a family we've done a podcast with before, but it was extremely popular, and we only hit so many things the first time. So we're going to bring them on again. It's the Hennessey family. So we're going to start. We're going to go. Let's go oldest to youngest. So we'll start. Bring Jody in. There's Jody. How are you,
Yeah.
Jody?
How are you,
How's it going?
Scott?
I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Just we finally got it all ready. And then we're going to bring Wally in next.
All right.
Hey, Wally. How you making it?
Good.
Good. And the youngest, we'll bring Gordy in. And Dave's not with us today. Dave's not feeling so well, so Dave's not here. So,
tonight.
yeah, but we still got a couple of his races to go over. So yeah, no, the first podcast was super popular, so I figured, hey, we still got tons of stuff we can go over. I got a bunch of races. I got about 75 pictures. I'm not gonna show them all.
Yeah,
But
that's all right.
and yeah, we got a lot of stuff to go over. So the way we're gonna kind of do it is I'm gonna show the race, but I think Gordy was the hero of the last one. You guys were all great. But when Gordy talked over his
I got
race,
another story.
Yeah, we must have went to bed with it.
when Gordy talked over his race that he won, it was a big deal. Like I always thought it was cool to let you guys talk over the races that you're racing in. Now, I went through and grabbed literally every race that I have of you, all you guys. Jody, I gave Shelly a compilation of all your races, and also for you, Gordy, I gave you. And Wally, I'll give you yours. Yours is like 7.5 hours long. It's insane. It's the long. But we're just gonna go talk with different things. I'll bring up different horses. We'll show pictures, just like usual. It's not a big deal. It's like whatever, nothing serious. We'll just kind of hang out and have fun. So what's everybody up to? What's like, Wally, you're down in Saratoga, you said right now, right?
Right. Yeah, I came up about it was around the middle of April. So
Yep.
yeah, which is a little earlier than I usually do, but there's not much going on down south now, so I just came up earlier, and I always come to Saratoga now because that's kind of like my second home, I guess. So
Well, you did pretty well. I've seen we had 5 wins a couple weeks ago. Was it 5 wins one night?
couple
5
of
or
days,
6 wins.
couple of days
Oh,
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like every week for you, basically. So you're winning a lot. Jody, how about yourself? What's been going on with you? So we're back with the Hennessy's. We had a little technical difficulties there, but we're all good to go. So I'm starting to ask everybody what they're up to. So Jody, what have you been up to since the last time we talked?
Well, Scott, actually, I got laid off of work. As you know, I work with the city of Charlottetown, and on my off days, I usually go to the track and jog a few horses and stuff. So right now, I'm kind of on ease back, and I'm just kind of taking it easy. I'm not doing too much of anything.
Well, there you go. Perfect. That's nice. Definitely. Wally, you were saying before you're down in Saratoga right now, winning like 9 races a day. So pretty much that's what's going on. Just down there since the spring, you said? Early spring?
Well, what was it? A couple of years ago now that we were on, right?
Yeah.
Were we still racing at Pompano then? Maybe. Yeah, I think we were.
Yeah, I think yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So now I just Coconut Creek is my home in the winter, and I came up here the middle of April to Saratoga. Kind of worked out good because Brett Beckwith, that's Mark's young fellow. You guys all know him now because he's winning all the races. But see, he's going over to Plain Ridge on Monday and Tuesdays. So when they started at Plain Ridge, that's when I came up here. It was the middle of April. So I got the hook right in with some pretty nice horses right off the bat, and that certainly helped.
You're doing well. You're happy with your Panthers? Are you a Florida fan? Are you a Panther fan?
Yeah, I'm a big Panther fan, and Barbara go to the games all the time, and yeah, it's exciting. They do have a tremendous hockey team.
Too
bad for the Leafs. I don't know what happened.
Well,
it's just a snake bit, I guess. But
I watched that. I didn't see that Carolina game, but I looked at the score, and my buddy was saying, like, man, Florida's just destroying them, like just absolutely mutilating them.
And the goaltending is terrific, so that's helping them as well.
And I mentioned, I'll be quick before we go to Gordy. My buddy said we're talking about like people that are fans of teams. He said, "You know anybody's a Panthers fan?" I said, "I actually do know a guy who's a Panthers fan." He's like, "What?" I said, "He's lived in Florida since they've been there."
Yeah, we were original. Season ticket holders when they were down in Miami, then in the Miami arena, and we kind of canceled them about 7 or 8 years ago, but we still go to maybe half the games.
Yeah, there you go. So you're definitely enjoying it. So Gordy, what's going on with you?
Yeah, I work at the city too with Jody, and we got a couple of horses. My wife and I, and my sister Lori, we dabble in that a little bit. We're not big stables, just 2 horses, but I help Adam Murder, Jody, and I in the wintertime dog a few horses for him too.
Nice. Good. All right. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna show some races again. I'll leave the microphones on everybody. You talk about it if you want. If you don't remember the horse, who cares? We'll just talk about whatever, right? I'm gonna start with Jody because Jody, I found races of you from 1978 in Charlottetown. This came from Jerry McCabe. Sent me this a couple years back, and I don't know. I don't think I showed it in the first podcast. Did I? Did I show it in the first one?
I don't remember if you did or Scott.
No, I don't think I did. So it's kind of neat because it's 1978. I mean, that's super rare. I mean, we don't. If I could find 1978 APR, I'd be in my glory. But I thought I'd show it. It's the first video we're going to show, and then we'll kind of just ramble along about other things. The horse you have, I'm not sure the horse that you have, but let me bring it up here. Just give me a second because I wouldn't.
Between the three of us, we should figure it out.
Well, they said the name of the horse at the start of the race, so it's yeah, it's pretty easy once you figure it out there. Let's see.
This is a preferred classification. Number 1, Belinky, trotter in with 4 pacers.
Might have been Marion Stretch or somebody. Trot. It's a trot. Right?
They just said it. Give me a second here.
You're bet right over there, Joe.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to buy them. But look, yeah.
H.H. Carroll.
H.H. Carroll, little chestnut mare owned by Ray Stewart. She never could take a lot of air. I shouldn't be out too early.
I think you're in second.
Yeah. I look like I'm molded on there.
Yeah. We actually got up on them back then.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys were right from the answer. Yeah.
We drove a little different back then. They kind of lay down now. If I get down now, I'd probably never get back up again.
Yeah. The first one I ever drove, my father, he had the handholds up. You couldn't reach them. The horse didn't even pull out. But he didn't want us to have the holders back.
See, as you see there, Scott, the old hub rail, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this horse in the front looks pretty comfortable. He probably will win it. Looks like Blois McPhail coming there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, Blois better not be outside of there on the last turn. He's in trouble.
Yeah, he is back in any stock.
Because there was no passing lane back then, but Jody made a few of them.
Yeah.
Watch yourself, Blois.
Yeah.
No.
Where are you at, Jody? Are you in second right now? Is that you in second?
Yeah, that's him right in the cool. He's sitting pretty good.
In fourth. Yeah.
Yeah. It needs to get the 2-hole trip today and get that passing lane.
136 and 4.
Yeah, 136. You can't even qualify now.
Watch this now, guys. Where's he getting the room?
Look out, Blois.
Watch it, Blois.
I can't keep up.
Now he's out.
He had lots of room. Jeez, look at him. That is an old one, eh?
Yeah. Geez, I lost a few.
Yeah. Dad would say you should have stayed where you were.
Yeah, you should have stayed in.
Yeah.
That was
He didn't want you to move, eh?
That man that owned it, that mare was had a lot of nice horses at one time years ago. But yeah, he owned a horse at one time that won the Sky Prince. He won the Gold Cup and Saucer. Ray Stewart was his name.
okay.
Yeah, you had to stay away from him after the races. You know he wanted to tip you.
You didn't get much for a drive back then.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit.
Yeah, good old fella though, eh?
Yeah.
Jerry McCabe sent me that and said, I think he said, don't upload it to your YouTube page. So I'm like, okay, fine. And then I asked him, can I use it on the podcast? Like, yeah, it's okay. But that came from 1978, I think November of 78.
Yeah, that's a
Which-
nice little mare. She wouldn't weigh 900, that mare. She was a picky eater. Yeah, you can feed her with a bean can.
So that was 78. Let's see what else we got here. We'll just keep going with it. I'm going to show a few pictures, actually. I got a whole bunch of pictures here. And I'm all about the post calls now. So we're going to go that race later, Wally, autopilot. I actually have that race where he wins the A&E pace. Do you remember that horse? Back in it was 83?
Yeah.
84? Yeah.
Yeah, that was Gord's. That was one of Gord's biggest wins. That horse.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, my first invitational win was with that horse.
Yeah.
Wally had gave me the drive. He had another one in there.
Yeah.
He raced against the both of us, Polly and I. We were all in together.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring, you know what?
All.
I got so many videos. It's ridiculous. I just went through, like, I can't believe the amount of wins that you guys have amongst all you. It's kind of funny when I go through them because I had them in order. So it starts out like Wally's winning, like, 4, Joey's winning 4, Gory's like nowhere's to be found. Gory's winning like 1, and then all of a sudden these guys are gone, and Gory's winning like 5 in a row. It's like, okay.
I had to get them to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. I'm going to go to my format here and take a look. Let's bring up another. Let's bring another one up. Just keep going with it. This race here is actually Gory's race. First with Amy. Remember that horse, Gordy?
Oh yeah, Russell
Are you
Drake.
sure that wasn't Jody? I had him.
Yeah,
First for Amy. Russell Drake owned him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually interesting because we get to you later
That's
with the same
Drake's
horse.
father that owned that horse that's coming up there. It's first.
Oh, really? Yeah, Lee was telling me. Yeah, Lee was saying Jody would drive horse for his father. He mentioned
Jody
before,
I
yeah.
know he must have been away that day or something.
I give Gordy a little extra money that day.
Yeah, a little walking around money. Yeah.
Let's find first for Amy. Where are you hiding on my list here? BJ Allen, Dan Hennessey. First for Amy. Here we go.
All right.
And I'll keep the volume down a little bit so we can all talk about it.
I've seen a few of these old races.
Here we go.
This one, I think.
This was 1983. The day itself, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's when I first moved to St. John. I was working with Wally then.
I'm going to bring the volume up a little tiny bit because I want to get Ingham's call, but I don't want to do too loud.
He was the best. Ing the King.
Oh, yeah. This video came from Steven Twilight Mahar. They brought over boxes of videos one day.
Yeah.
And they had the exhibition with 1983, and I was like, oh my God,
Is that Ronnie on the front? On the front? Ronnie Madsen on the front?
It might be.
Might be Comanche Bill, is it?
I think it is.
He had a white face. He's a good tough race horse.
Or Fontana Joe.
No, he's got white. No, not Fontana Joe.
Who is it?
I think it is Bill. This fella here better pack a lunch.
Get his first for Amy with Nippy Namby challenging their neck and neck. Nippy Namby on the outside, first for Amy on the inside, and Mather's Puck goes to third as they go by the half 105 and 1.
Yeah, I used to love Ingham's announcing. He was the best.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
That's flashback to when I'm a kid, just standing at the fence, watch all the races.
Oh yeah, he was just like he was singing.
Yeah. Is that Bill Nicholson? No, that's not Bill Senior coming out. No.
No, that's old. The conductor. He wasn't on the front. That's
Gordy, come here.
Yeah. Used to call him the conductor.
Yeah. He looks like
he's just getting by me, is he?
He win. I made sure he hit the win before him.
And you remember that hub rail, boy? Sometimes your wheel would go underneath it. It was high in a few spots.
Oh my gosh.
Gold Ronnie's coming up on the inside to fourth. Pied Bud Ranger down fifth. Nippy Namby, Hunter Hill chasing better and better. They come
The
for
stick,
home.
man.
It is first for Amy.
Anyway, good job. There's no whipping.
Yeah, I would. I'd get light.
Your hand drove that fella, Gordy.
Yeah.
Pied Bud Ranger, Hunter Hill chasing better and better. Nippy Namby, Gold Ronnie. Time for the mile to 9.
Russell used to enjoy himself coming over there racing on the weekends.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
lot
that's
of guys come over in the winter.
Oh yeah, I heard stories about guys like coming out, like they drive over on like a Wednesday night and drive back the same night.
Oh yeah.
And now trying to get someone to
that
go.
horse burn. I don't know how come I was driving. I mean, he must have been sat down.
For
You didn't
Jody,
sit down much in St. John, though.
Jody's, you drive him later, Jody. We got a video of him later with you driving.
Yeah,
him.
that's okay.
Yeah. We
That's all right.
we don't see it. So let's go through a couple other things here too. I had a cool little pick here,
Get
my
as
buddy
many
Paul.
of Gordy as you can.
I don't know what to say. Gordy's got a lot of wins. Don't put it, trust me. I got about 100 of Gordy's races.
Yeah.
It's just like Wally's, because I took Wally's Big US races too, and it's just like tons of races. Here you are, Wally, with Victory Hill with Paul Brown, my buddy Paul Brown at the head there.
Paul's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took Paul up to Woodstock last summer to watch the races, and God, the heat. I mean, I don't know. You're probably like whatever because you're in Florida. But we were dying from that heat in Woodstock. It was unbearable. My God, it was like 38. I remember driving up. I kept looking at the temperature. It's like, it's 31, it's 32, it's 35, it's 36. I'm like, oh my God, man. We got out and Paul's like, you got to put me back in the car. I can't sit in here. He's like, this is going to happen.
Brendan used to get like that too, brutally hot, especially after a little shower or something. You couldn't.
Yeah. It's,
Woodstock?
no,
Was it Woodstock?
Yeah, Woodstock. What track were you saying, Gordy?
Well, Fredericton used to be quite hot.
Yeah.
Too. I remember
Yeah.
while we'd leave from St. John, you'd be freezing and get up there and it'd be 80 degrees.
Yeah. That's I'm not a big fan of the heat. Like that's like, yeah. I know me and Russell Henderson went up to Charlottetown. I think maybe the Gold Cup trials. And it was hot. Poor Russell. I was in the grandstand. He came looking at me. He was walking towards like it was a zombie. I'm like, you're gonna die on me or something? He said, it's the heat. I can't handle the heat. So let's jump in. I got some cool things I'm gonna do here too. We're not just gonna talk about racing. I'm gonna bring up like just random questions, and I'll start them right now. And everyone can answer if they want to. This is completely up random. It's not related to harness racing at all. So you're starving. Like you haven't eaten in days. Someone puts food in front of you, and you will not eat it. What kind of food? What food will you not eat, no matter what, no matter how starving you are? We'll let Gloria start.
Well, I wouldn't eat haggis, but I'll eat about anything else. I'm not a fussy eater. I was when I was young, but I'll eat shit now.
What's haggis?
Yeah.
You don't show it.
It's from Ireland. It's sheep cuts or something.
Yeah.
What's haggis? What is that? I don't know what that is.
It's sheep guts, I think it is. They don't throw nothing out for sheep in Ireland. And we're Irish.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat it. Okay. Jody, got anything on your end?
I'm kind of a fussy eater. I'm not a vegetable eater for one thing, but meat and potatoes suits me pretty good.
So it's something. If someone puts this in front of you, and you like near starvation, you won't eat it. Like something that you despise, like a food that you actually.
Probably spinach or something like that. I don't think I could handle, but
yeah.
No, I guess I don't know about starving. I'd probably eat it. Anyway, you can have a good peek. I'm not starving.
Yeah.
British Wally, anything you can't handle to eat?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. But I remember the boys remember this. Dad used to love liver.
We hated liver,
and I never could even get myself to even taste it. So I guess if I had that sitting in front of me, I'd probably pass.
Dad was the only one in the family that would eat liver.
Yeah, we'd all have to eat it once in a while.
Yeah.
And he was a picky eater too. He was picky eater.
Dad was picky. Yeah, he was more meat and potatoes too, but he loved liver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not my cup of tea. I see the menus and I'm like, God, I want to see the person who's going to order that. It's my thing for me, honestly, is ham. I can't even swallow it. I can't even swallow ham. And I got a real funny story personally. When I was younger, I started dating this girl, and I went to go visit her family for the first time. It's a big deal, and this dinner, and her whole family's there. We extended family, the whole 9 yards. What they pull out is a ham, and I'm going like, I can't say no to this because I don't want to be rude to the mother, right? And I ate that ham, and I swear to God, I thought I was going to die from it. It is, I can't even stand the smell of ham. That's how bad I am with that. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. Got that. Now, this is an interesting race. This is where First Raby comes back in. It's Isaac Character with you, Wally. Isaac Character back at 83. And I like this race a lot because I found the horses in there. I think Jeremiah Riss was there. It's like when you guys like before they really break out to be really big horses. It's kind of like before, like there are a few classes down. You know what I'm trying to say here? These horses, and you're driving as a character. Joe, you're driving first for Amy, and Glory, you're watching from the fence.
Yeah.
But let me bring this up because I'm gonna find it here. This was as a character. Where we at? Hold on a second. There we go.
He was a hard horse to drive, Wally, wasn't he?
He wasn't. He wasn't that bad to drive. He just wasn't that fast. You know, he just 4 quarters and 32 seconds.
Yeah.
Just gotta get it down so everyone can hear it.
I'm going out searching.
Yeah.
Jody's leaving. Surprise.
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
Yeah.
I think that's Clarky on the front. Clarky Smith.
Yeah, it might be. They don't give us the who's driving who it is. It's weird. Just the name of the horse.
I'm sitting 2 at first for Amy.
Yep.
There's the conductors on the outside.
Yes, look at them coming.
Yeah. The lines will be coming up here soon, Jody.
Yeah. And the whip.
There they come.
He put a lot of records on horses because if he got to the top, he'd go as tight as he could go.
Pacing for the lead. First for Amy, third, then Lordham's Gem, Shy Scotch.
Lordham's Gem.
Then upon the outside comes Marland Todd and Isaac Character.
It's a bad time to let him go by the half.
You're eyeing the outside here, Joe.
Yeah, I am. Well, I didn't want to get caught. I'm riding the wheel, probably.
You're back in.
Yeah. Well, he liked to get inside. He liked to get coverage.
Then Lordham's Gem racing fourth, and thick goes Liberty Beacon out from second, challenging for the lead again.
Hope I don't run the
I'm
whip.
not crazy.
Then upon the outside goes first for Amy. Racing
You'll notice Jody, pretty every race he's in, he's got a different suit. He never stuck with the same colors long.
Yeah.
They're always blue and gold, but different patterns.
Oh, here comes Isaac character on the outside. We'll always come on the outside now.
Yeah. Wally's out where the band plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out again. I'm out a half out.
That fella could go as a character, but he stepped.
I might have got a call, did I, for whipping?
Jeez.
I think you should have. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Trying to poor horse almost killed us.
That's the thing about these old videos, eh? You don't
Yeah.
realize how.
I was hitting the shaft.
Yeah, the saddle pop.
Yeah, there is. I had the 74 Alexander, and my God, man, the Boise Phil's killing that horse at the finish. Like it's, if people see that now,
But it does look worse than it was. Like there was hardly any because
The bikes were built different back then. There was more of a bow in them, and you
Yeah.
mostly caught the shaft.
Yeah,
Actually.
Yeah.
this looks.
Yeah.
You're
I
hitting
mean, the whip would have to do
The
it. I
bike
think they were
was-
$10 a piece back then.
yeah. No, I understand what you mean. They're bigger, so that does. It looks like a lot worse than it is.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive driving, Wall. You were kind of sitting in the back the whole race, and right, boom, last second you came around.
Had no choice.
Timed it right on.
That's kind of the way he was, that horse. He was just like a one-speed horse. They must have been stopping pretty good for him to get up and pass that. You know.
So, Joey, what?
Actually, that horse he gave me my 1,000th win.
Okay, yeah, that makes it's interesting when I do these. When I look up these videos, I look up through the archives of newspapers. Anyway, that does say in the newspaper 1,000th win, and I remember I was meant to write that down. Well, that was your 1,000th win. There we go. We found it.
Yeah.
I forgot what horse it was with. Jody, you changed it.
That wasn't that race there, though, was it? No.
It might, but they didn't say it. It's not like they didn't say it at the end of it. They would have made a big deal about it.
Ingham would have said something. Yeah.
Yeah. Jody, your colors, you changed your colors fully back, in late 80s?
Yeah, I guess it was back then. I went to work. I was working with Mike McDonald, and anyway, I had a set of colors same as Mike's. And when I come back to St. John, I still had them there, and Wally started driving, and so I passed some colors on to Wally, and he took them, and I went to something else. So, and Wally still Sil carried them on and done a great job with them. So
Yeah.
I'm glad he was wearing them and not me. So
So you
probably
went
wouldn't have
from
done.
the uniform you had in this race here. Is that your second uniform that you had? Did you have one before that?
You were green and gold, Jody, there for a
My
while.
first uniform I got it off Ralph McFadden when I got my license first. And it was green, yellow, and gold. And back then you used to have to register your license or
Okay.
your driver's colors.
Yeah.
But I changed them since then, and I just went to blue and gold, and it's I stayed that way.
Yeah, you switched it. Well, you switched it in the early '90s. You changed it up. We'll show you a race later where you have a different uniform altogether.
Yeah, I had a suit one time that Jack Brown gave me that somebody must have given it to him at the soup kitchen.
That silk one,
It
Jody.
was a silk one with there was a line going through the side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave it to me, and that was his stable colors, I guess, at that time. And I had a bunch of New Zealand horses for Jack then, and he wanted me to wear his colors.
Mhm.
And as you know, Jack had some pretty nice horses over the years, So that's how I got them colors. But when I left Jack, the colors went with him.
Let's see. I'm gonna find a picture of you. I got a picture of you in them colors here.
Yeah.
Let's see here. They're right there. That's what I'm talking about there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I still have them colors.
That's got to be one of Big John's horses.
It's one of John Davies' sister. Geez, he never wore that lower head, did he? Looks like he's getting ready to bite somebody.
We have that. Let's keep going. I'm just looking here. So the next one. Oh, go ahead, boy.
No, I'm good. I want to say what I was thinking about it there, and because I don't know who will be watching this later.
Oh, a lot of people will be watching. So trust me.
In that last race there, Clarky Smith, did you see him there? He's cutting it, let
Yeah.
the horse go at the half, come back. But condolences to his family there. He was, as the boys and anybody that knew Clarky, he was just a pro, a professional in life and as a person and as a driver and as a horseman. He was just he was all around everything, and it was pretty. He lived a he lived a great life, Clarky. He did what he wanted to do his whole life, right up, I guess, until his last little bit here. So I just wanted to pass on my
Definitely.
there to that.
Yeah, that's nice. Molly.
And following up on that, Scott, tomorrow evening at Charlottetown Driving Park, they're honoring Clarky. I think they're going to have I think they're having
That's
a
nice.
little ceremony there, which is well deserving and a wonderful man. Yeah, great for the race game.
I met him, I think, in Charlottetown. This was a couple of years back. I can't remember. I always get Clarky and Bernie mixed up. I just got the two of them mixed up. But I met Clarky once. I met him.
One fella's quiet, the other fella you can't. He's a little loud.
But Clarky shook my hand. He had a grip on him. He really hooked onto my hand. I was like, wow, this is a good grip for
Barney
him.
worked with Clarky quite a bit.
Yeah. Good guys, definitely. I mean, it's when I look at some of the old, all the old results and some of the people that aren't with us anymore, there's some great drivers. There's great drivers now too. Nothing against the drivers now. Just a different era back then. Different kind of driving, different style.
Back then, in them days when Sackville Downs, when I got my license when I was a young boy, back in them days at Sackville Downs, and then they went on to St. John and Sackville were the two greatest tracks to be at, right? And I'll tell you what, there was a driving colony at them places, both areas, that could drive anywhere in the world. They were great drivers and great horsemen. I mean, they come from the bottom. They started at the bottom and worked their way up. You know what I mean? They didn't just go in and start driving horses. They went in and grabbed a pitchfork when they started. They didn't start with a set of reins.
Yeah.
It was great.
They were hungry, Jody. Back in them days, they fed all their families off harness racing, so they were hungry.
Absolutely.
So they either had to get good at it or do something else, and most of them got great at it. Not good. Most of them got great at it. They were,
Absolutely.
you know, and that's how, that was their only means of living at the time. They'd be the only ones working, not the only ones working, but that's where the money was coming from. And there wasn't a whole pile of it coming in. So,
No,
so
that's
they
right.
had to, it was either be good or starve.
Yeah.
No. And you talk about the kids being there, like, I mean, it's the greatest thing of child labor. Me and Chris Davies joke about it, child labor, but we loved it as kids. We didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like being in the barn is 5, 6 years old. Give us a shovel. We'll shovel. We just want to be around. Like
That's why we come. That's why it's still a great breeding grounds for the industry. That's why we become what we become in the industry, because we worked at it, and you learn from the ground up, and you learn the right way right off the bat. And when you learn the right way right off the bat, you don't know any other way. So you either get to perfect it or you move on.
So we got the next race coming up. This one here is an interesting one. This is Wally racing BJ Allen. So it's a day after they finally break the sub 2 minute mile. Not in New Brunswick. That was done by Club Seals in Woodstock. So make sure everybody knows that. We don't need anything to happen. Russell got in trouble for getting that wrong. But on APR, sub minute 2 mile was broken the day before Provincial Cup by Jimmy Doherty after who he drove.
Narrow TV, maybe.
Yeah,
What happened was it was Clipper Sealster inside of him.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
And that was the Wizard that done that, Willard.
Yeah, the Wiz, and
Joe Wiz, yeah.
I was in that race. Bay River missed. Mike Campbell had Big Hugh. There's only 5 horses, and it was never supposed to be the race to break the 2 minute mile, but it was one, like Gordy said, how Fredericton could get so hot and humid, and it was one of those nights, and it was just one of those nights that, you know, everything set up perfect for it. And he was a decent horse anyway, but he wasn't like one of the better horses around, but he was capable of doing, of course, he did it. And then I think Steve McGarrett broke it with Jim Doherty.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
And then the next day, I had been driving Gemini Risk a lot, and then like I had a lot of conflicts, and Steve Mahar picked up Gemini Risk, and he broke 2 minutes.
And then you broke it 2 races later.
A couple of races later, if this is the race you're showing.
That's the one. Yeah.
BJ.
That was in Summerside, wasn't it, Wally?
No, right there in St. John the same day.
Oh, was it? Okay.
You know, you couldn't. Conditions were never ideal in St. John to go fast. Like
No,
fog
and dampness.
Foggy, and the track. Was, you know, it was it. But this particular day, it was a Saturday afternoon, and it was warm and no breeze, and the track had been being utilized the whole week, so the track was getting a lot of work, you know, and it was live, and so BJ Allen, he was, not that it's a big thing, but he was the first island bred horse to break 2 minutes.
Interesting.
From Bert Honcoop, was it? Yeah, Bert Honcoop.
Yeah, Bert raised him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll bring it up. I got the race right here. I'll bring the volume down so we can just give me a second here. So I put the volume all the way up. We'll be able to hear each other. And let's bring it up. So here comes up now.
BJ Allen quickly going to the top on the outside. Gemini Greenwood is on the inside.
There's another legend there in the 2-hole, James Roach McGregor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. So many people that are in these races. I can't believe the names. So when you're doing it, like, you know, like, this is a long time ago, Wally. You probably don't remember, like, do you remember anything from this race at all?
I don't know whether I'm going to release this fella. It doesn't look like it. No.
Coach is letting him in, but I don't think he can keep up.
I don't think I was going to release him anyway, to be honest with you.
No.
Look how close we were to the horses, like faces right.
Yeah, that's the driving style back then. You know, the best driver, one of the best drivers in the world, Joe O'Brien, right on top of him.
Yeah. Well, we were there, Jody. Look how close.
Oh God, yeah.
But I think the bikes were set up different. That we were sitting up a little.
And the bikes and everything were different back then. And you know, we didn't have our own bikes. We probably had somebody else's.
This horse was he was really good that day. He actually wasn't a bad horse, but he just did this so easy. It was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I think this is the Rothman Stake or something. They went for good
Well,
money.
it's just a regular invitational race. It's the 11th race of the day. Yeah. But when you're doing this one, do you have an idea you're going to break the record? Like, is it in your head at all, or are you just kind of just going straight and going with it?
I knew I was kind of going. I didn't know whether it was breaking 2 minutes, but I knew I was going along pretty good because, I knew I was in with a bunch of decent horses there, and he was just kind of distancing himself from me. Right about here, I was probably passing him for everything he had, to be honest.
Yeah.
Figuring that we were all looking to break records then. Not that it matters. We were, for some reason, and I think I was that day. So
He was well in hand.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he was in hand. It might look like it, but
It's like,
he went through the wire good that day.
what's it? 159 for, yeah.
Amazing, a 59 for a big trip, and nowadays
qualifying
normally
in it.
won't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Qualified.
How times have changed.
Oh, yeah. They qualified, Roland last night qualified in 57 and 1.
Yes,
I
he
was
did.
like,
Yeah.
like, I remember races going in like 2:14 in the rain.
Yeah.
I think we have a race later that goes like 2:16 or something crazy. Or like
My
even when I did
father, Scott, my father
Yeah.
held a track record in Summerside at 2-5-4 with Dominion Bird, and he raced Andy's son and all, and held it for 3 years. June Bird
yeah.
held the track record 5-4. You can't even get qualified now. And
Well, no, they take it off the track.
that was
I
the
think
good
it's
call. They
just,
traveled the circuit.
yeah, no, it's it's so much different now the way the tracks are and
Everything's
stuff.
different. The breeding has come so far along here, right? The breeding now is just the same as it is anywhere in the world.
Yeah. No, Charlton's. I was telling Paul last night. I went and got gas. I stopped by Paul Brown's house to help with something. And I said, man, I see it was like 5 o'clock. I said, this is like 3.5 hours early. I would have thrown in the car and gone to Charlottetown. I just got that little bug in my, but I realized it was like 5:30. So if we drive to Charlottetown now, by the time we get there, races are over, right? So I like Summerside. I'm a big fan of Summerside. I like both tracks, but I really like Summerside a lot. I like the vibe. It's a little more chill, kind of.
Yeah.
Not that Charlottetown's not great, but I find Summerside a little more mellow than Charlottetown. All right, where are we going with this? Let's show some pictures. I'm just going to throw up a couple random pictures because they're so small I can't really see them. I wish you this the last one. That's your father right
It's
here.
my dad winning the Dosco pace with Dominion Bird. That's down Sydney. That picture. And
that one.
yeah, the Dosco pace. That's Jim Ferguson there presenting it to him there. It was quite a trophy for back then. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's Wally or you, Jody, I guess.
That's Jody there.
Yeah, that's me next to Pilot, Donnie Gabreth, Soupy Campbell, Brownie.
Yeah.
And I think that's Soupy's wife, is it? On the
Yeah, that's Linda, I think.
Linda, I think it is, yeah. I don't
Move the
know.
hub
We must have been digging worms. I don't know.
You're taking the hub roller. The hub roller's going
I
out.
don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the
You're
best
taking-
thing you ever done there. The hub rail out.
Yeah, so the hub roller. You're taking the hub roller at that time. Yeah.
Not safe.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this happened now. Like I said, let's see. This is a picture of Jerry back when he was really young.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I remember
23.
yeah, that's a long time ago. Anyway. Quite a gap on my teeth back then. I ended up losing them. I was in a car accident one time. Anyway, I'm glad I did.
We have talking about Wally being 18 and Gordy. Wally's changed his license and Gordy is 13. Is jogging horses now.
Yeah, imagine.
You talk about getting a little bit of trouble there too, Jody. You talk about getting some trouble the first couple of years of your racing career.
A little bit, yeah. People getting in my way, I guess.
He dropped me one
Anyway,
night.
it's no. I've been very fortunate. I made a career at a race, and race game's been good to me and all our family, of course. And I'm grateful for the race game. Very grateful for what I've been through and stuff. So it's been good to me.
I'm going to show a couple more real quick. We'll go to that. This is Wally This is from 1982, I think. Let's see if we can full
I
screen
was
that.
not too old in that one either.
No.
82. Yep. December of 82. The post calls.
Yeah.
And I got,
You look good
I
there,
got,
Walt.
25 probably, was I 26, 25, 26. It was, you know what, it was no different back then than it is now. You know, you never realized like like you know, you do got to show something, you know, to be able to do anything like that. But if you don't get the power to do it, there's no shot. And you know, you mentioned earlier there when Jody and I left St. John, and then Gordy was left there alone, and so Gordy's now he was getting horses he could win with. Like when we were there, he was getting third, fourth, fifth string horses, and it's hard. You know, it's hard to. You're going to win the odd time. I mean, anybody can win, but you got to have. It's same today, same back then. You didn't realize it then, but it was kind of the same kind of racing. You had to be aggressive, and the ones that were close to the front usually won. But the difference being was getting them to the front then. Like any horse can get to the front now, and back then it was hard to get one to the front.
we couldn't use the one part of the track because the Hubbard was there. So if you went into the
Well,
inside,
they just weren't that good to be able to get.
Yeah, they didn't have raw speed like they have now.
Yeah, they couldn't draw. They couldn't spring out of the gate like they can now. Now it's kind of a speed duel to the turn. They go to the gate now like the runners, eh? They go out wide open, and the horses have such quick speed now. Back in them days, there you had to hold them together. Jesus, either that or be on your head. You couldn't go into the turn.
Down the first turn.
Yeah, you could never go into the turn now like they back on the.
oh my God, that turn alone is terrifying. That first turn in EPR, I swear to God, every race I look at, I even watching it live when it was there, I hold my breath every race.
Yeah,
it looks like
there used to be a big dip there, Wally. Remember when in the 80s there was a big dip in that first turn?
Yeah, it was.
Every time the horses come from outside there, they couldn't get around there, but the local horses always done well in the stakes.
Yeah, when I first came down here, like, and I was racing on the half-mile tracks here in New York. Like Saratoga's beautiful. I mean, it's still the greatest half mile. But like Buffalo and Batavia, they were tight, and everybody was terrified heading into the turns. Buffalo, Batavia, and to me, them turns were like Meadowland turns.
It's like a billiard table.
Yeah.
Like you know, it was just an automatic left kind of thing.
Yeah.
And listen, the horses themselves would take care of themselves. They, even if you were being a little more aggressive going in the turn, they'd take themselves up because they knew they couldn't make the turn if they were going too fast.
Yeah. I got a cool little thing here that I meant to do, Wally. This is a segment from At the Track. You're a bit younger then. It's kind of neat. It was episode 2. I got At the Track from the person who bred Angel's Shadow. I keep to the Hannahs. They gave me a bunch of stuff, and they gave me a bunch of tapes, and they had every episode of At the Track, so I recorded them like a maniac and stay up all night one night. But anyway, this is I'm curious. I didn't get Bo with you. I'm not sure if you do or not. But I'm going to bring it up. I think Bo's with you. I'm not sure. We're going to see. Here it comes right here.
Yeah, we watched that last Old Home Week there. Remember the
So I'll put the volume up a little bit so that we can see it. It's who's the background?
That's Wayne Hubbard.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's Wayne Hubbard, eh? Look at that. That's cool. Wayne's doing that. We're doing fantasy harness racing. So we're getting some people together. We're actually doing it with PEI, where if guys win to get so many points and stuff. So it's gonna be kind of fun. Wayne's actually going to play with us.
That horse looked pretty good there, Joe, didn't he? Look at him.
Did he ever get the nice sheepskin on?
Yeah, I know what horse that is too. Haley's Alert.
Who is it?
Haley's Alert. Remember him, Wally?
Yeah, nice.
Really? No.
Yeah, he was a good-looking horse.
Yeah. There you are, there, Walt.
Yeah.
Yeah, no gray hair there.
Hi, Jesus. There's been a lot of water under the bridge since then. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. No. You've had a great career.
Yeah. Well, here I am trying to tell.
You worked at it. Nobody give it to you.
How we trained. He asked me about how to drive, and I knew about as much about driving then idea about flying a rocket. But anyway, there's been a lot going on since then.
Oh yeah, for sure. I remember when Wally first started out, I had bought a cheap little mare there, and I think I paid $400. And Dad said, "Who are you going to get to drive?" And I said, "He said get Jody to drive." Wally just started driving, eh? And Dad said, "No." I told Dad, I said, "I'm going to get Wally. Like he's just starting out, he needs to drive, right?" And Dad says, "You'll not get a cent all summer."
Yeah.
So Wally's come a long way since then, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, "You'll not get a cent."
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you still got that money I
First
made.
3 or 4 drives that he took there, we were down a couple of times.
Does he, Jody? You
Huh?
still get that money from Top Check for Christ's
Yeah.
sake.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you still got
Yes, you're right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tough fella to get the wallet out.
yeah.
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 Jeez, yeah.
No,
I
that
did- I had to
that
the
was a great
bath.
learning experience, Gord. You know, I remember that very well.
Yeah.
It was
Oh, we had a lot of fun with her, Wally.
Yeah.
But you know what? Back in them days there, when you started driving, you drove the low class. You didn't get a chance to drive something that was up. You drove whatever was in the lower class. And you'd have to prove yourself that you could probably, advance to somewhere else. But no, it was. And back in them days when Wally and Gordy and them started, they were still only going in 2.8, 2.9. So
Yeah.
it wasn't easy driving back then, and they were driving against some pretty capable drivers back at that time. So
There was.
no, they've come a long way, both him and Gordy. Gordy could drive a horse good too when he got something to drive.
No,
Yeah, I usually was the busiest driver. I wasn't the hottest one.
Well, we got some good stuff for you,
One
Gordy.
time they had a list in Moncton there. It was a who's hot and who's not list. And I was always on the who's not list. And anyways, I told them, get me off that goddamn list. Anyways, they said, well, you might get on the who's hot list. Now I said, not with the stock I'm driving. Anyways, they left me on the list. Anyways, but you're only
Well, listen, good luck.
says what you got in the shafts. But I didn't drive any old thing for that $10.
You got a good one here. You get, trust me, I have some good races to yours too. The one that I left the one I did last time. That was actually I put it in your races that I gave you. But I'm not going to bring it up here because we already watched it before. But I got some good stuff. I got a couple good races to yours later on. Trust me, you're not. I know you feel like you're being left out there, but you're not. We're definitely gonna. We got you coming up later. I didn't bring up Dan's race there. Dan's race that he has. Luckily, Dan. This is
go.
I forget who it is. This is the feature race, December 26th, 84. I know, I see that date all the time. Let's go back to it here. Dan top class. Let's take a look. Oh my God, what's the horse he's racing? He's in the one hole, I think. We'll bring it up right here and see who the horse is.
Is it Charlottetown, Scott, or
EPR?
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to Wally's probably.
Yeah.
We'll know.
And the starters in our featured ninth, approaching the top of the stretch, it's a field of 5. We have found and Lord with Danny Hennessey.
That's
That's my horse. Yeah. I'm always good at giving them fellas drives.
Yes. Yeah, and tell them.
Hey, this is a good horse. This is a nice horse right there.
He was a nice one.
You're damn right. He ain't no smell.
No,
he
he
raced
nice
the Gold Cup, that horse. That horse raced in the Gold Cup in Somerset.
Dan's got your silks on.
Oh, Jesus, I don't know whether he does or not. That horse get out of there a little better than that.
You probably told him to take him to the yard.
You're getting married, Wally. You're not in this. You're not in this card at all. I'm pretty sure you're getting married.
Yeah, I was. I got married a couple of days later from that, December the 28th.
Yeah.
He was a good horse, Wally. You took him to Florida when you went there.
No, he was. Yeah, he was all right. For
he was
back then. Did Dan win it? Did Dan win this race?
No. He was.
I don't think so.
He's in the back. But God bless his heart. He tried. Look, hey, listen, that was me.
Do you know who's on the lead there? Hummer Garmin. And you know
Yep.
what? One of the nicest horses there was at Exhibition Park.
Yeah, day in and day out, like race
Day
year
in,
round.
yeah.
Yeah, he died in that fire in '86. That poor horse. He was one of the horses that died in that fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering why I had Danny on him that day. I must have been sick, I guess.
It had to be, Jody.
I must have had pneumonia.
That must
He's
have
trying,
been.
his, he's trying his best. He's
Oh, he's
you
out
know.
moving anyway.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't off the rail yet, George.
No, I'm
No.
still in the fence.
He hasn't off
He's
the rail.
last.
Let's sneak up the rail.
Listen, if that was me, I'd be in the back just going, go ahead, guys. I'll sit back here and enjoy it.
No.
He's trying to. No.
Back in those days too, they never canceled the races. Doug, even
I
if
know.
a snowstorm,
That Hummer
That
Garmin
was the
was
only
the
place
type
that
of
was
horse
open.
that you'd ever want to see.
never
Was it,
shut
Wally?
up.
Yeah, no, nice horse.
God, he was a nice horse.
Poor Gordy. He's telling us so he got to jump right over him.
Yeah,
Danny just wanted to get some money off his papers, I think.
Yeah. You know goddamn well Jody's not there. You know the horse would be no good. Jody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
poor Dan. Yeah,
Yeah. Hung Dan out to dry.
When I was doing the format last night, I'm sitting here and I'm like doing it, and I got everything in front of me, like pieces. It's all in pieces, and I'm going, okay, put this here, this here. I got thinking, I gotta get Danny in there somewhere. I can't leave him out. That's not cool to leave him out.
Danny's good. Danny was a good horseman, good caretaker. Danny.
Yeah.
He's
Oh
good
yeah,
as you-
I mean,
yeah.
like trust me, I'm not shaming anyone for finishing last. Okay, like
No.
if that was me, I would be in last, making sure I'm last, and as far away from the rest of the pack that I can be. That's where I'd be at.
I don't think Danny really wanted to drive, to be honest with you. He never took that much of an interest in driving. He'd sooner just train and look after them, you know. So
yeah, a lot of people like that. That's true.
yeah.
So let's see here. Go through a couple other things. Let's take a look at picture. We got a picture of you guys from. We showed this last time. That's from Old Home Week.
yeah.
Yeah, that's up in the bench.
Yep. Yeah, let's see what else we have here. Knee boots. There you go, Jody.
Yeah.
Photo finish and knee boots.
Yeah. Do you know who that is? Second is Aubrey Wood with just
Okay.
10.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know who's third there? Power Baron.
Oh, really? Yeah, because
Yeah.
knee boots was a big deal. Because my uncle Tim Ryan loved knee boots. He talks all about.
He was a
How
lovely
great-
little horse. I'll tell you what, the pull as hard as any horse I ever drove. Knee boots. He used to wear a Raymond Leverage, and every day after the race, I raced him. He'd lean so hard into the gate, the bar that went across his nose would be bent on that horse. He'd bury himself right into the gate. But a lovely horse. He was a nice one, but paced around 2-3.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
did he race the Alexander or anything?
He win
He
the
must have-
Alexander. Yeah, he win the Alexander.
Oh,
He
okay.
win Walderdale.
Okay.
Beat Scott
Yeah.
Connor and them. Yeah, he was handy. He could leave the gate good, eh?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
He
doing this.
took him out west, that horse. He was an Adios Peck. Yeah.
So that was one of your first
Very well.
big. That was one of your first big ones that you had. The first big horse you got.
That's when I kind of come around St. John at first. There is with knee boots. Art
Yeah.
Craig owned them, and actually, Art wanted him to win the Gold Cup, and I was working for Mike at the time, and he put General Oik in it. He
Okay.
said, no, I bought General Oik for Elliot, and this is so. Art said to me, "Will you take him over to St. John and drive him?" So I wasn't. Jesus, I jumped right at it. You know, I wasn't getting that many spins, so I said, "Yeah, I'll go over and give him a whirl." So anyway, we get in there. We had 2 shoes off when we landed there. And we got Jason, the old fellow there, the blacksmith. He put some shoes on him in the morning. He had the rail. He ended up, that was the day he win that race. Yeah, first time there, 2-3, I think. He went.
That's
Yeah.
very good back then.
He was an
I
nice
bet-
horse, and that's how I get stable there. And as Wally said, you're only as good as what you're on. And see that horse there done good. And after that, I started getting drives and getting horses. And we'll give this fella a chance, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
the biggest horse of Wallace is that because this race coming up here is if anyone I'm pretty sure I could have gotten this horse in one, which is Winner's Accolade. The last time we showed you win Alexander with him, this
Yeah.
one here is Governor's Plate. And I want to think it's probably one of his last races in '86.
It is his last race of his life. Yeah, that
Okay,
day.
so there we go. Yeah, well,
Yeah, he backed him off the trailer and he spring loaded and he drove him through, cut the tendon off him. Yeah, that
well,
was
here we
his
go.
last race. That was a wild night too. Jeez, it was a windy night. Broke the track record that night, if I believe.
Let's progress. It's happened. Let's
Yeah.
see if we go there.
Yeah, he's where he's supposed to be. He's right on the front. He was good.
Yeah.
That horse raced good for everybody that ever had him.
Well, yeah, he was amazing.
Anybody that ever had any connection or anything with that horse done good. Yeah. Angel Shadow, he was in with some pretty nice horses, eh?
Yeah, unbelievable horses. 1986, yeah.
Yeah.
And that whole run in the 80s, I mean, the 70s got a lot of props, but the 80s had some amazing horses too. The 90s had good horses also, yeah. But I see you here, like you had a big lead, and then the shadows kind of creeping up on you here at
You
the
know
end.
what? I'll tell you a little. Yeah, I'll tell you something about that horse. It looks like you couldn't hit him, eh? You couldn't touch him. You could shrew the reins up and down. You could, if you hit him, he come right back to you. But I drove his last 4 starts of his life.
Yeah.
And he win the 4 of them. Yeah, he was just a good horse. Say go and right to front. Anybody could have drove him. A
That's
wooden
what I'm
Indian
saying.
put that on.
Just sit on the best. With the Hennessy's, we're about an hour in. We're gonna go through some more. We just went over the winner's accolade over like Governor's Plate. Yeah, so that was his last race ever. Jordan. He never raced again after that.
He was heading for the trials after that race, and like I said, that night when he took him home, he kind of went off sideways. I guess George Cannon owned him there, and he went to go off, and he cut his hind tendon off. He never raced after that. That was his last race.
So he ended up studying, I assume, right? Did they stud him?
Yes, he did. He did breed a few mares with him. He didn't, unfortunately. We had a couple of his offsprings there, and my father did there, but he didn't. He didn't seem to pan out that good as a sire. He was a good racehorse himself, but no, he didn't pan out as a sire. I don't think. Russell McCoy had a couple there that wasn't too bad, but other than that, yeah, no, he didn't pan out as a stud. But again, what a lovely horse to drive too. You could just never would take the weight of the reins. Yeah, which is not a good thing, but I like to have a little. But he'd go to the gate and you said, "Geez, running me into here." I'll tell you what. But halfway down the stretch, when that gate was leaving, he just stuck his head right on it, and away he went. He done his own racing.
Yeah. Oh, he was first memory for me. That's that Scotch Garmin, the stories, I didn't see Scotch Garmin race live. But for me, my first memory of harness racing was Winner's Accolade.
Yeah.
And seeing him race and just
everybody
being
connected with him done good. So
yeah, it was an incredible horse.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go through here. What else we got going on? And so okay, I'm gonna do Wally. Then we're gonna jump into Gordy. We're gonna get Gordy his son, his time with the sun. After we go through one more race, Gordy, and you're gonna be good to go. This is the thing. This is a race for my buddy Chris Davies. Me and Chris are real good friends, and his father had Burners Delight. Wally, you drove Burners Delight, and I have here.
I think Gordy drove him too. We all drove.
Oh, Jody. I never drove Burners Delight. You and Jody both drove him.
Yeah, Big John.
I drove him. Yeah,
I think you were in Walter Dale with him.
Yeah, Big John gave a lot of winners.
Yeah. Wally sent me a picture here about 2 or 3 weeks ago of me breaking the track record in Summerside with Burners Delight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a great horse, and I always make sure.
Who sent the picture?
You did.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's some bumps in the head I've been getting. I can't remember.
No. Yeah, you were tired that night, and you got put it on.
Yeah, Big John got that horse for nothing, and he ended up being a great horse for him.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, John Davies was a great horseman, and great for the race game. And he put a lot of people on the map, John Davies.
Yeah, he helped us a lot, all of us.
A lot of guys that got into the race game and didn't do much driving, Big John would put them on and give them a start. He was a great man for the race business, John Davies. Believe me. Yeah.
Yeah, we could use a few more of them, John Davies. To be honest with you,
Yeah, I know.
He did. He gave numerous.
Oh God, I guess he did. Everybody that come in there, that he was. I had an old horse there one time. He had by the name of Hold On. I think I win 12 or 13 races in a row with that old horse for John.
Yeah.
And John raced him in the claimer. Nobody would touch him, and just a great horse. Hey, good horseman, John Davies.
Yes, and most
when
most
you went
of the
out
horses
on the track, when you went on the track with one of John Davies, you were on the track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were rigged. They were rigged properly, and they were
right and
very,
safe,
very
and
professional, and very, very respectful. Like just good man for harness racing, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
We lost you, Scott.
I have you on mute. My bad.
Okay.
Walter Dale was originally meant to be a 5-horse field. It became a 3-horse field. So I think it's you and I forget who else, but we're going to see it here right now. It's the last half of it. Frightened. Let me bring it up. Let me hit on there.
3/4 inch
Captivator, and then you're in there, Wally. You're I don't know where you're at. You're hanging in there somewhere.
Yes.
Oh, there goes the Captivator.
Scott.
Well,
Needed a pee break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he heading for another beverage?
No, we just needed a pee break. I was texting.
So we've just finished up with Burner's Delight, won the Walter Dale with 3 horses. Well, basically 2 in the end because one of the horses went out stride. Yeah, and then right then you go to the States, Joey or Wally pretty close after that. After that win, you're gone the fall of '86.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
there was no real plan. I guess it just kind of happened pretty quick within a month or two. And at that time, Jody gave me a couple of his better horses. He had the better ones he had, and I had some pretty good owners that went to Florida in the wintertime. So away me and Dan went, and on a whim, just maybe for the winter, and then I'm still here. Dan had to go home because of his blindness and stuff. But we had some run, boy, for a long time. Dan, in Pompano Park history, there's never been a brothers that won Dan won the training title. I won the driving title a couple of times, and we had a great run. And I missed having Dan there. I still do miss having Dan with me, but he had to do what he had to do, and I think he's happier where he's at, to be honest with you, because it just got to that stage where that's the hand he was dealt, and he's handling it very well. I couldn't handle it that good. I know that.
Yeah, definitely. But he's a nice guy. Really nice. First time we had him on, definitely. I've only met. I don't think I'll see you guys all in the summer. I'll be up during Old Home Week for sure. So I'll see you in the summer. So Gordy, I think it might be your time to shine here. Let's find a race for you, buddy, because we've been kind of like leaving you in the dark there for a little bit here.
Those guys win a lot more races than I did.
Well, you can see the thing is you do win lots of races. You just win later on. See, I was in the '80s. Now we're jumping into the '90s, and I have 2 more. I have 2 more Wallies. I have a few more Joeys, a few more yours, and then I really like my the race I finished it with is really cool, and you guys will see it when I bring it up. You actually brought it up to me, so let's see here. Where you at? Gordy. Find Gordy. I'm gonna bring this race up. I don't know what horse it's with, but we're gonna find out.
All right. Between the 3 of us, we must figure it out.
Let's see.
That's a clever one.
Yep.
At the end of the stretch.
I think it's you're in one hole.
Here they come.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a little filly of Mel Land's.
Only 4
I do a thing there to grab on a little bit. I don't think I rated her too good in this one.
She's not extremely big, or
No, she was only a small little thing. I can't remember her
Yeah.
name.
That's not a hero one.
You probably get it. That was in the Williamson Memorial. That was a 2-year-old stake. Look at the beauty.
that was up in Credit in that race. Eh? Looks like Credit in that race was.
That is Mike
Yeah.
Campbell, our cousin. He's in the 2-hole.
Yeah.
Mike win a lot of races too.
Mike was very good. He was very.
Yeah,
He was
very good.
successful as he was in the marathon.
He was a great trainer and a great conditioner, Mike was, and
And he won
beyond
most of
time,
races
he
with his
wasn't
own
feeling
horses.
good. He put you on there. You could, you knew they were ready, right?
Yeah. He was
Mike's
probably
a
as good a
first
horseman.
cousin of ours.
With Goddess Jet. There by the first
Oh,
half.
Goddess Jet was her name.
1 minute.
I think that was her claim to fame. That was her only victory. But Mike won a lot of the races with his own stock too. Like we did a lot of catch drives. Eh?
So,
Mike won most straight out of his own barn.
that was a beautiful little track there too. With us, remind you a little of
Yes.
here, really.
That was always like Victoria Day or whatever. They'd always have that or July 1st. Them stakes.
Yeah.
And,
My father had some good wins there back in the early 80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like you might have laid over them a little, Gord. Did you? Or what do you think?
And I think that was a 2-year-old stake. And back then, a lot of them, there was only 2 or 3 half
Yeah.
decent ones there.
Making sure you won anyway.
Oh yeah, I was. It is.
So what's the horse here?
But that Mel Land, he win a lot of stake races there.
Yeah.
The fellow from Moncton, I drove a few
Yeah,
horses.
good old fella, Mel.
Yeah,
Always had a horse, eh?
yeah.
There we go.
Time for the mile, 2:05 and 2.
And you notice there, I had red, white, and blue. That's my father's color.
Look at the bike back. Look, there's the bike. Look at the
My
bike
knees
back
make me
there.
thin. Yeah,
See how wide they are from the horse?
Yeah.
Very nice.
but they were comfortable at the time. Anyway, you thought they were.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember.
There's Mel at the head of it there.
That's Mel Lair. Yeah, Mel Land. Hopewell
Yeah.
Cape.
Yeah, great fellow.
Yeah, he was.
He got into the EPR Hall of Fame last year, Mel did, for a trainer or for owner.
Yeah.
You've done a good job there, Gord.
Yeah, great. Great to the
And you
top.
know,
Like
you know
Bob
what?
said, you get to stop.
Hey, Jody, he wasn't saving anything for next week.
No,
Well,
He
no,
wasn't saving anything for next
he
week.
was scared he was. I don't. He was scared they were going to catch him.
yeah.
I'll make a
He
little
was
announcement.
blind and everything. Eh?
He kept him alive anyway.
I remember one time I got caught right at the wire. I got nipped. I first started driving. I never got nipped at the wire again. I kind of had went to sleep. And Wally said, Jesus, you should, you fell asleep. And I did. So I was posing for the picture and the guy got me. Waked me up. I never did that again.
I'll make a,
Got
I'll,
right to the wire.
I'll make a little announcement here quickly because Jody Waller got into the EPR Hall of Fame last year. This was voted on too, guys. I mean, you guys ran away with it. It was ridiculous. But this year's Hall of Fame, Gordy got voted in for the 1990s.
Gordon.
For the
Oh,
night.
So,
That's good for Gordy.
yeah,
Well
I
deserved,
sent you-
Popper.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
and I was telling people, listen, it's voted. It's like I don't just pick. Like I'm not like going around going, I'll pick this person, that person. I actually print ballots and people vote on these drivers.
Yeah.
So like, if they don't think you're that good, Gordy, you don't get voted on.
Yeah,
Unless you
that's
went and
great.
voted for
I
yourself 40
appreciate it.
times. I'm just joking. But yeah, you got in for the 90s and a couple others. But I'll talk
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
bring my
later.
trophy over when you come.
Well, I got now, Jody. Did you ever get your plaque for your Hall of Fame?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I'm sure you got it because I wanted.
And,
I know Wally Aubrey's got yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Just want to make sure because I know with the night we did it, some people weren't there. I said make sure they get their plaques and because I'm still
No,
hunting.
we did. They
couple of
were
them.
very, very thoughtful of you to do
Yes,
that, and
A lot of
we
work,
really
Scott.
appreciate
A lot of
it.
work.
We
Oh,
appreciate
you're very
it.
welcome. You deserve it. You guys both, all three of you. have
Yeah,
worked
well,
hard.
you're alive, which is something like, we appreciate that too, because all three of us have a lot of good memories in St. John. A lot of good.
Yeah. I remember when I decided to do it, everyone's like, hey, what? Hall of Fame? I'm like, yeah, because the EPR's around for like 100 years. Why would I do a Hall of Fame? And I came up with the idea, and then it was like, okay, we did the voting, and then like it got really chaotic. And God bless it, I'll say Lee Drake and them guys, and Lee called me. He's like, you're doing the Hall of Fame? Yeah, okay, well, here, what do you need? That's just Lee says, what do you need? And I was like, and I didn't want to ask for all this. So I said, well, do you want to pay for our plaques? He's like, sure. I'm like, really? And it's just like, great guy. Lee's awesome. Lee, like everyone in Charlottetown's great. And the whole industry, like if you need help or not help, like don't do anything. Everyone's there to help everybody. And Lee, like, has always been great to me like that. So we're really proud of the Hall of Fame. I think it's kind of cool. I like doing it. Like last year, I got a little bit of heat for Roller Car not being on the ballot. So I made sure Willard got on this year, and he dominated the ladies.
Willard Carr would have been one of my. He's one of my favorites when I was there. Well, the old ways, he could drive a horse as good as anybody. The Wizard.
Oh, when he got in the, he ran away with it. Like his ballot, when he got on the ballot, it was like Willard Carr, like up right to the roof, and like everybody else.
And so it should.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Paul Davis let me know last year I should have Willard on there, so he made it on. All right, so
and
let's.
There's another fellow, Paul Dares. You speak to him. He's been great for the race game in St. John too. Put a lot of nice horses on the track.
Yeah, he made it in last year or two. Yeah, Paul did.
Yeah, Paul.
Freddie Madonna put a little post to the post calls for the Hall of Fame. I was talking to Freddie. I sent him some pictures and stuff. All right, so let's hop into. This is actually harness racing related. I have a question for everybody. Might take a second, but I'll start with Gordy. Your favorite horse to drive and your least favorite horse to drive. And you can lie if you don't want to offend anybody, but I'll just see what you think.
The nicest horse I ever drove was a colt called Chatham Hoochie. He'd been 17 in a row, and I couldn't do nothing wrong with him. Like, he was such a nice little horse. You leave with him, take him back, do whatever you want. And the owner of that horse, Romeo Boucher, put a lot of nice horses on the racetrack, and I got to drive a lot of them. After Wally left, Wally was their driver at the time, and when Wally left, I kind of took over the reins for them, and they stuck with me like through thick and thin. But Chatham Hoochie was a really nice horse, and he went on to race right till he was 14 years old, in Maine. They sold him after his 3-year-old year for $60,000, I think it was at the time, which was good money. And the first one I drove, I don't know. I think it might have been a horse that Wally sold to George Murphy for $1,000. His name was Brookfield, and I wasn't getting along with him. He pulled the eye teeth right at you, and couldn't go either. But pull, and then get in a hole and want to go right over the top of the fellow in front of you. So, anyways, I paid Wally back. He was over Old Home Week one year, and I put him on J. Brookfield for a catch drive. Anyway, didn't get much. He finished up and I was just getting on the bike. I was only on half on the bike. I wasn't like the paddock in Charlottetown's way in the other end, so I wasn't even quite on the bike yet. And Wally said, "That son of a whore," and you hit him a crack in the ears with his hand there. And the way he went, I was in the side saddle. I wasn't even on the bike. So away I went about 4 laps because I wasn't even on the bike. I was backwards on the bike. And like you could hear the announcer then. It was what was the announcer back then? Ed Walters. Ed Walters, yeah. Mr. Hennessey, please get your horse off the track. Well, I swung around the other way, and I was still going for the 4 or 5 laps. No uniform on or nothing. The horse just wore out at the end with him. We didn't keep long after that. I think he's hauling the plow or something. But,
that's
Wally.
Yeah, he wasn't much.
No.
So Moneymaker for Wally, I'm guessing is your favorite horse of all time that you raced with Moneymaker. Any horse back that you were just like, no, this horse is going to drive me crazy. Like, I need to get rid of it.
I'm trying to think, Scott. Not really. There's been a lot of them, right? So the first one is really easy to answer. The other one, I just really don't have one that I can really say.
That's fine. Yeah, that's good. That's good. What about you, Jody? Anything like favorite horse? I'm trying to think. I'm guessing knee boots for you. Would that be up there?
No, knee boots. Yeah, he was a nice horse. Knee boots. I had got him off Mike, but I would like to pick something that I probably trained myself, and my wife and I had a nice little horse for Bill Andrew, who was a lovely horse to drive. A horse by the name of Ironside. He wasn't the fastest, but could go around 56, 57, but was
That's
a
pretty good.
real nice horse and go right to the wire, eh? And we kind of liked him. And yeah, I'd say that I had a lot of nice horse. Every horse should any good horse is a good horse to drive. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But, sometimes when you had them in your barn and you had them, and as I say, I had a lot of good ones in my time back in for them days. But that little horse there, when he came in, he was a real nice little horse, come from out west.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's. I gotta find one later. That's the last. Last question. The last question is real fun. I showed Chris the 80s. That's interesting. That'd be a fun one to look at. So this one, we're kind of skipping the 90s a little bit. We got a few here. Let's see. We got some. We got winners accolade. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna show. I already showed that race. Let's see what we got for pictures. There's so many of them. Here you are here with Burns Delight. I don't know where that's at, Wally. Where's that at? Maine, maybe?
No, it wouldn't be Maine. No.
What's that?
I don't know.
It looks a little different.
It's got trees in the background there, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't place that.
Wouldn't be Woodstock, would it?
No. And it might be Moncton. You know that? I don't know if that horse ever raced Moncton though, and the new track.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have it. We'll just figure it there. We'll never know. What's this one here? There's Joyce with them. I have a really cool one of you, Wally, with one of my favorite people who's no longer with us. And where did I put that friggin' picture at? Give me a second here. It's hiding on me. That one's here somewhere.
What's in the tumbler, Joe?
What's that?
What's in the tumbler?
Coffee.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll have to find it later. I know I'll find it. I got like so many in here. They're all like hiding on each other. Okay. Let's. Here's you and Bo at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Good,
There's a young fellow. That young fellow with Wally come a long way. That from when I was in St. John, when he was only Tom Scoville hanging around with him, and Wally took him under his arm, and he's done well. That young fellow with.
He sure has.
He's a big little worker, and
he's a big little worker and neat and tidy, and he's come a long way from.
Beautiful wife, and two
absolutely just great people. They were good people.
Tremendous kids.
Yeah.
Little story about Bo. I remember he was just a young fellow then, and I went to Fredericton one summer, and he come up with me. He was only about 14 years old, and Jody had sent me a horse. His name was Fontana Joe.
Yeah,
and you couldn't get him out by the gates, because he'd run in the gate on you. You had to jog him along the rail. And last thing I told Bo was warming up for me, right? That's why he wanted me up, because I'd let him warm all the horses up and everything. So I said, make sure you don't get up by the gates. Well, Freddie from the gate there by the test booth. Well, Bo was warming him up. In that gate he went. Bo went on out of the yard and right out the other one, back onto the track. And of course, I seen him heading in there. I had to give him a blast for getting up near the gate. Anyways, Bo is a good little worker, and Wally deserves a lot of credit with Bo there, because he brought him right in when he was a young fella and taught him everything about the game.
Yeah, he tortured me right to death.
He did.
Yeah, been a great young fella though. He stuck it out. He raised a family and a good family, and deserves credit. Yeah,
absolutely. You have to keep talking. Go amongst yourselves as you can. Yeah. I'm going to find this picture because I really want to give this person a shout out. So, but yeah, I love Bo's a great guy. I mean, I talked to Bo a lot of times, and he's a really good guy, real nice guy, real friendly.
Yeah, very obliging.
Yeah, but he's what's he up to now, Wally? Is he with you right now, or?
No, he's had his own outfit for 25 plus years, and I mean had some really, really successful years. And it's like anything else, like me, Jody, Gordy, and any of us in the horse game. It's up and down, a lot of it depends on what kind of stock you're kind of trying to put on the track at the
Mhm.
time. But he's got the most out of every horse that pretty much that I know of that he ever trained. And I drove a lot for him. I drove a lot of his horses, and we've had a lot of luck. I mean, he's been with me through my every milestone that I've ever
Yeah.
had in my life. He's been there.
I have that's right. That's
I couldn't ask for a better friend than
yeah,
John. He he's had my back, since he was a kid. So
that's the picture.
in his family as well. Like we were close because, like, his kids kind of grew up. Like we were together mostly all the time. So yeah. You get on my nerves a little bit. Like I'm a little uptight on race day, and I gotta keep him away from me on race day. But other than that, it's pretty good.
Here's the picture I was talking about. That's you with Linda Wood's horse, Aubrey's wife.
God. Linda
Upland
was
Dawn?
lovely.
Is Upland Dawn that one? Or-
Yeah, I think it was all Dawn. Yeah, maybe. But I love Linda. She's a sweet lady. She's been gone for a while now, and Aubrey. I can't say enough good things about Aubrey because Aubrey's like just great. I was talking to Aubrey last week actually for a few minutes there. I gave
Yeah.
him a call. He's still going. He's still going at his age.
When I was in St. John there, like you're there, one of my younger years, and Aubrey took me right under his wing, like early, and I was we were great friends. We all like to have a little toddy, and
Yeah.
we were great friends. Aubrey and I don't talk to him much anymore, but I really respect Aubrey. But Linda was just a gem. They started a little breeding farm there, and they loved the horses. Yeah, he withstood the test of time. Aubrey, he's still going, and I know through Jackie and Lori and them that he still follows the horses.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's still like, I'll tell a quick story, then we'll get back to the videos. Me and Aubrey were out one day driving, and Aubrey was kind of like, he was acting a little weird. I'm like, are you okay? Like, because you're like 88, so so he's like, oh, I'm good. And his car started acting up. I thought there was something wrong with his health, but his car was acting up. So we get down to the end of the road, like we're on Golden Grove Road, and we get down to the car dealership, and he leaves the car with them, and he runs across the street. He's 88, and he runs across the street, and I'm going like, what in the hell? You're crazy! Like, just couldn't believe it. Like, and he's still acting. Like, I was talking to him. I was over my car down to get new tires for. I was going to see if Aubrey picked me up, and I said, "What time?" I said, "Well, I'm going to bingo. I'll be done around 10:30." I'm like, "He's almost 90. Don't forget that. He's almost 90."
Yeah,
and he's still going to.
Yeah, good horse. A good horseman, Aubrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had that bad wreck in 70. He told me the story of the bad wreck in 70, came back, got hurt again, and kind of was like, okay, enough of the hard horse. He would get the real, like, easier horse to drive, he told me, because he couldn't really risk with the bigger ones after that, right? So.
Yeah, him and Milton Downey were a hot commodity at one time.
Yep.
He drove a lot for Milton there in his younger years there. And it was a good horseman.
So let's see what we got here for races. Let's bring Gordy up. Big one for Gordy. Atlantic Sire Stakes 2002, Black Bow Tie, Earl Frame's horse.
Okay, yeah, he was a nice little racehorse.
And you must have some memories of that, Gordy, before I bring it up.
Yeah, that horse was a nice little horse. Steve Maher drove that horse most of the time. I was kind of in the two-hole in there. But Steve either must have had one in with him that day or was committed to something else. But really nice horse. Just push button, do whatever you want with him.
Yeah, Earl had got me to do all his tapes for him. And I had all his races. I lost them. I don't know where I went to. They went somewhere. But I got this, and shout out to Jerry McCabe. Jerry McCabe, I had found this on YouTube. It was bad quality. Me and Jerry were talking last night. Jerry sent it to me and said, here's better quality for you. Oh, which is, it was great. So
Jerry's got a lot of archive stuff.
What's that now?
Jerry's got a lot of that archive stuff. He keeps everything.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's quite a nice spot there, the old Red Shores, that picture looking over the water there.
I kind of love it.
It's a good location, that track.
Yeah. I remember going up. I'd never been there. My first time up there was a couple years back with Russell Henderson. And just being like, I thought it was the most amazing thing in the world. I was blown away by how beautiful it was.
They call it the Kentucky of Canada. It's just a beautiful facility.
Yeah.
I'm cutting across. I could have got fined.
A little early, Gord.
Yeah, I was. That would have been in the afternoon. They used to race afternoon and evening. Home week there, but there's a horse shortage lately. But that was quite a week home week there.
Oh yeah.
Racing in the afternoon. The Colts always went in the afternoon, and they would fly.
Oh yeah.
You
A little early here.
Anyway, you must have heard a noise, did you, Gord?
I heard a noise. Yeah.
So,
And the
anyway,
fellow in the front there, Todd, there, he's quite
Well,
aggressive.
I don't know.
Tackling the bad fella.
You must have heard hoof prints coming.
Yeah. Because Todd was always on the engine, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you win this one, you might have been the
Oh,
best.
this little horse, he had a big heart.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Good set
Yeah.
of lungs on him.
He's getting a windy ride.
I guess, well, you give it to him.
Yeah.
You think you heard a footstep, Jody?
I think you heard that. I thought there was thunder coming.
But that's the kind of horse he was. Eh? He was just a gritty little horse, and he wasn't big either.
No.
And Earl was another guy. He didn't
And
have
Earl didn't
a
care
lot of
where you
horses, but
finished.
Earl Fram always put them on the track ready to roll.
Earl didn't care where you finished anyway.
Yeah. He's that. They got to be able to take a little air, boys.
Yeah, well, he took lots of it here.
Yeah, he took lots for sure. But that's what all goes back to. You have to have the stock, eh?
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
if you did that with something that was no good, you'd be a mile back.
Yeah. He drifting a little on you.
He's dead tired. Yeah. I only drew the sword once, though.
You wouldn't think you get tired after that trip.
Yeah. Jeez, I remember I drove one like that, and the fellow was what do I owe you?
You wouldn't be doing much kicking in the trailer going home, I tell you.
No. He lay down.
Funny, you can drive them all over the track, and they win. You've done great.
Yeah.
And you can drive one right to the letter X, eh? And they finish last.
Yeah. Well, you proved that true.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a nice little winner circle shot there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's,
What was that nice little 3-year-old Earl had? It was a nice 3-year-old there. I forget his name. Little black.
Alfred was good.
Yes, he's a beautiful little horse. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Stevie drove back
Yeah,
and forth with both those horses.
Yeah, he was a lovely horse.
Yeah, he was.
What was I going to say? Went blank there for a second. No, keep going. Keep talking amongst yourselves. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to ask the last question, which is, well, second to last question. This is a fun one. And we'll go with Gordy. Strangest or weirdest thing you ever seen happen on a racetrack while racing? I guess while racing or maybe training. One or the other.
A strangest thing now. Tell you what happened one time there. Ronnie Gas was cutting it out, and he lost his helmet. The helmet blew off him. It looked like he lost his head. The wind caught the helmet, right? And it was about 3 or 4 followers. And the guy sitting about 4 caught the helmet, right? And it was so funny, like, because Ronnie went on to win the race, but it looked so weird that him going without the helmet. And the fellow pulled up. He still had the helmet never touched the ground. And the hands back to Ronnie, wanted back to the winner's circle. But Ronnie Gas was a great horseman too. There, Wally knows that. He raced a lot in St. John, and he wouldn't be a bad guy to get on a podcast. If you look back in the old '80s and that, Ronnie Gas used to race a lot of horses there in the wintertime.
Yeah, I heard the name a lot. Yeah.
Those Dusty Lanes. He didn't have the Dusty Lanes back then, but he had some really nice race horses.
So what about you, Jody? Anything weird stick out that may have happened on a racetrack? You did it for a long time.
I can remember one time that Wally and I was in a race together, and we had I don't know what they said go, and I think Wally might have lost the rein.
yes,
And,
you're right, Jody.
And I was in the middle of the pack, and I'd seen that he lost the rein, so I came out of the race to go and see if I could gather Wally up there. And I had a horse by the name of Gas got to go. And
Yeah.
he didn't need a whole lot of an excuse to get him out. He would
Yeah.
when I took him out, he was willing to do whatever I wanted.
Yeah, he
him
was
to do.
delighted.
Yeah, if I had asked him to go to the center field for a bite of grass, he'd have went. So I remember that, and we get up in the backstretch there, and I got a hold of Wally there, got him pulled up there.
No, geez, I'm glad.
Yeah,
That's
he only
an
had the
awful
one
feeling.
name. Yeah, it is. But that was on one occasion. But the horse that I come after him with suited it great because he'd love to get out of the race. So anyway.
Yeah, I got to thank you for that one, Jody. 'Cause that's one of the worst feelings in the world when you.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Terrible.
Anyway, yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, that was better than he got more doing that than he would have got if I had finished. So
anything stand out for you, Wally? As you've been around all the places, anything weird or strange?
A lot. It's funny. One of the deals was it was one of John Hallett's, Bo Hallett's horses. He was a front runner, and we were at Pompano Park, and I had the inside post, either the 1 or 2, and he had like an overcheck bit, like it's called the O'Mara bit. It kind of comes out in front of their nose. And anyway, we're going around the turn, and I thought, my God, he's on one line bad. What's going on with this horse? He's on one line. Anyways, when the wings, they said go, and when the wings were closing, he kept going with the gate, and I mean going with the gate. Well, the O'Mara had got hooked into the bars of the starting gate, and finally, thank God, it snapped. The O'Mara snapped. So all I had left was just the bit in his mouth. The bridle was off his head, and all I had was just a bit in his mouth. And amazingly enough, he was a front runner. The horse won the race.
Holy,
and
that's
he had
wild.
no bridle on. He just had the bit.
Crazy.
He was one of those horses you keep the bit in his mouth.
Yeah.
That was real strange. I mean, that
would be scary.
Yeah.
I seen the one I was showing you. I showed you guys. Everyone's seen it. The one where Rustling Master. That's how many times I've seen it. Goes through the fence at EPR.
Yeah.
And the story was my grandfather told me the story when I was a kid, and I always thought he was lying to me. I thought I was full of things not true. And then the first, out of all the tapes I've recorded, I have over 800 videos of not 800, 350 videos of EPR and other racetracks. The first video I ever recorded 10 minutes in was that accident. And I remember watching it going, oh my God, it really happened. Like Rusty Master ran through the fence. Yeah. It was the craziest thing ever. So, all right, let's see where we're at now. We're going to a couple more here. Let's see. Back up. Okay, let's see. How about we'll show Wally with Moneymaker, and I cannot pronounce it. Is it Lipa? What's it called again? Wally?
Elite Loplet, but Elite Lop, they call it. It's going this Sunday.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We'll show that. Because this is obviously a massive race. We've showed it before. We'll show it again. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going completely backwards. And I'm going to ask something because I'm not really paying much attention at the time. Have I showed the autopilot race yet of the A&E pace? I just showed the picture. I didn't show the race, right? I just showed the picture.
Is that Gordon?
No, that was you when you won that with the A&E. I think I won the Alexander or one of them. It was my first big win. Yeah. But you win the A&E. He wasn't a big leader, that horse, but he could finish.
I'd be in this race, I bet you.
You are. Yeah. That's the big thing, because you're in it.
That's on the outside.
I'm going searching again. Look, right from the outside. Yeah. Glenn Reynolds, I had, did I?
I think so, yeah.
Hey guys, I just want to tell you something. Did I win this race, Scott? Yeah. You said I did.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have.
If anybody's watching and they said you can't win from the back, I think that Isaac character came from last, and this fella's going to come from last.
Well, look at all the drivers that are in this race. Jody's on the front, Marcel,
Mike
Campbell, Willard. All legends. Like these guys are a lot of wins in
from the outside. I see what before Glenn Reynolds.
Yeah.
Challenge.
Strange to see you heading out of the gate, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, I hit the 8-hole and I went out, He was a nice horse.
Who's sitting
Gordy.
last? Who's sitting
yeah.
last in here?
But
Yeah.
this horse could finish, Wally. Remember that? They could only warm him up
He was
in
in
about
New
2
Zealand.
minutes. He was so crooked. But in the race, he raced not too bad.
Steve Mahar, Steve
Yeah, like,
Mason.
I'm telling you, look at the driver talent in there.
Steve Maher could drive a horse as good as anybody.
There's Dr. Hubert, too. He always had some
Yeah, there's the wizard coming on the outside of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying to Willard, stay there, Willard. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be coaching. There's no doubt about
Yeah,
it. You're
no,
coaching right here.
there.
Yeah.
That little fellow, the further he went, the better he got, eh, Wally?
Yeah.
He couldn't leave a crumb.
No.
He wore 2 Murphy blinds.
Jesus.
Those are just things that go over their eyes like that. Most horses wore 1. He had to have 2 because he'd bear in hard in the turns. You just got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I run in the whip.
Yeah. No, he was a nice horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big race. A&E pace is a really big deal back then.
Yeah.
And the A&E back then, that was the biggest exhibition in the Maritimes. Like, Doug got everything in.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. You know,
Loved it.
every race there.
My first big memory of EPR, I said it a million times, I'll say it 1,000,001, being at Provincial Cup night 84, sitting by the fence and looking back and just seeing all the people. And it was just people. It was like everywhere. There was just people everywhere. You couldn't move. Yeah. And my grandfather would be in the bar in a certain spot, and he could see right down at me. He knew where I was. He's like, don't move that. Do not leave that fence. Stay there. If you go to the bathroom, let me know and come back, type of thing. So,
well, back in the day, there, like Provincial Cup night, I think you had to pay like $10 or $15 to get up in the grandstand just to sit. Like, you know, now it's all free. But it was full too. You know?
The grandstand for Gold Cup is, I think it's like $60, but they have a pretty good deal with that. The grandstand ticket with the Gold Cup, you get like food, I think, and you get your ticket and all that good stuff. And if it rains, you don't have to worry about the rain. So that was a pretty cool race. That was a lot of big horses. Henry Butler was in that race.
Yeah.
You had Glenn Reynolds.
He won the Gold Cup, Henry Butler.
Yep, 81 with Stevie and Autopilot. So Autopilot, like, not really talked about much. Like, when you think about Henry Butler, Glenn Reynolds, even Pennant Play, Autopilot, what was that horse's deal? Was that like, because you didn't always drive Autopilot, did you, Wally? Was it between you and other people driving them?
No, I drove. I was mostly their driver there for a year or two. And
yeah.
Then, because Pennant Play was, I don't know what was going on at that time, but that would be the Pennant Play time right then.
Yeah, Pennant was before him, and then he come after Pennant, Wally.
Yeah.
Frankie Fagan might have drove him a little bit before you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was a Moncton horse, eh? And they
used to
get down because there's no top class in Moncton, really.
He was good, but like he couldn't do the dictating and stuff. Like, he had to kind of be fortunate. Like, like in that race there, they must have been stopping pretty good, because I came from last. So and
they must have handicapped me in that race. Did they come for me?
Well, they knew they were going to get an honest pace.
That's right.
Wizard of the Turf wasn't going to let you sit down in front of him.
No. And I know what I'd be saying to him. Just sit there now.
You're probably coaching him when he was back fourth.
Yeah, them were the good old days. So the good
sure were. An exhibition park was they called it the Giant. They called it the Giant, and it was. And just look at like Gordy was saying there, go Jody, the horses that were in there and the drivers there, all very successful, and it was a great times in harness. It's sad that it's gone. It really is sad that it's gone. But anyway,
I remember that Pennant Play. Like, he made about 50 or 60,000 a year, 1 year there, and he never left the Maritimes, just racing around there. And that's a lot of money. That's like making $1,000. That's in the early '80s.
Yeah, Saul's Pride was a great horse. Great.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. They hit a lot of battles, Saul's Pride and Pennant Play.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
only thing back then too. Like if you look back at stuff like rivalries, like
I think
that's
you're
kind of yeah, we lost Wall. He'll be back in a second. We'll get him back.
There he is.
There he is. He's good now. Rivals were big back then. Like that's another thing. Like now it's not. It's a little bit like that. But I mean, it's me as a kid. Like Scotch Gorman got like Power Baron was the devil to me. I mean, Power Baron was
was a great horse.
and I might fought my grandfather was Scotch Gorman, so I did not like hearing the stories. Power Baron's like the evil empire kind of thing, right? But I mean, and he was a great horse. And then you look at like the '80s with like Angel's Shadow, Winter's Accolade, and all these horses. Like you don't really get that kind of rivalry anymore between horses. I don't find. Maybe you do, but
there used to be people following too back then. And when the invitation, wherever it would go, but even if it went to Cape Breton, everybody went down from everywhere.
Yeah,
to watch the race. The grandstand was full.
Yeah,
you know?
And back in them days,
horse, like
Yeah, back in them days, when the Gold Cup and that come on, if somebody in New Brunswick was lucky enough to have a Scotch Gorman or something like that, you raced in the Gold Cup. It was an invite. It wasn't something that you had to go in as a trial. And it's all changed now, see, because the better horses that are coming in. Yeah. When the Gold Cup was originally started, I remember when Bill Hancock, he started it from the Guardian, and it was for maritime bred.
Exactly.
It was all. If you were lucky enough to have a horse that could compete in that, you got an invite. You didn't have to go to a trial, and so everything has changed so much, and now it's a paid-in event actually that they come in but we see some nice racing. I'd personally myself, I'd sooner it be that the maritime owners and people that are in the race game all winter long. It's nice to be able to get in the Gold Cup as a maritimer and get in it. It's a tough rate right now to get in there and compete.
It's almost bittersweet because like you want the maritime horse to win because the Ontario horses come down and just blow them away. Like okay, well you look at the Covered Bridge 2 years in a row.
Oh, I know. Well, that horse can win the Open at Yonkers. Like he's just a super horse.
Yeah. What we're gonna do originally, because I brought Autopilot up, is the Moneymaker. I was just say Moneymaker. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. Like I'm gonna make a fool of myself trying to pronounce it. But we've talked about this race before. Probably we've said the biggest race of your career, Wally.
One off for sure. Gold Cup and Saucers are pretty special.
Yeah.
But this is a big race. I mean, it's coming up this Sunday, and actually we got a Canadian entrant. Doug McNair's over there with Logan Park.
Nice.
And he's got a good shot. Yeah, I just had a text with him there about a couple of hours ago, and I told him. I said when the starter says go there tomorrow or Sunday, Doug, take him serious.
Yeah.
Is he like the guy in Friday Kamali?
No, Dougie McNair.
No, I mean the starter.
No. The starter's a good starter horse.
Okay.
It's just like anywhere else. Like you got to be up into the action, and and he drew through the middle of the
first one on the gate, not the last.
Yeah, no, he'll do good. That's a good horse. So
it's good sound. I want to make the sound a little bit, but not to overpower you guys.
What you're gonna notice here, that's a beautiful racetrack. It's a 5/8.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful racetrack, and
the fans love it.
This was wasn't one of my better drives, but I just kind of had a driver that way that day. It was kind of hard to explain what you had to do, but I was getting a blast for being off the gate here. They want you on the gate there. Like he was shouting at me to get up into position, and she couldn't really leave. But that race, she got out of there really good there. I didn't want to get. As you see, they're going really good. I never do go in, so I had the best horse. I knew I had the best horse, and if I did win the 2-hole here, which was wide open. I never would have seen daylight. So, but look, what I want you to look at is the crowd. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
It's just
some
amazing.
of the Australia in the back there.
40,000 people, and they're just screaming. I'm just kind of sitting there right now. I'm not pushing. I'm not pushing.
So, are you thinking, Wally, like the magnitude of what you're doing? I know you're racing, but is your mind saying, like, I'm racing at this place? Like, this is kind of crazy, or does that pop up kind of after the race, or is it
You know,
at all?
it's not ideal. It's not where you want to be. But I was driving kind of a freak here, so I knew I was in pretty good shape. Like
Yeah.
right here, when I asked her to go, it was game over. You know, she just right
But
here.
the
When she
crowd's
straightened
clapping.
out, once she could trot the straightaways, like unbelievable.
Those are the crowd. Like the crowd's going crazy
These were the
for it.
best horses in the world right here at the time, and she just the 2 races she did that day was just an amazing thing. She get crooked a little on the turns there, but she could still trot through them.
And she was racing against the boys too, as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Only mare, which was phenomenal. Like
yeah,
because it's rare that a mare can beat the boys.
yeah. And the crowd was just into it so crazy, and
You hear them losing their mind.
it was a thrill. It was a big thrill. Yeah, that was 1998, so that was 27 years ago. Yeah, she was amazing.
Yeah.
That wasn't the first time she did anything like that. She did that every time I raced her. So.
And they're just packed in there, right?
Yeah. But as you see Swedish flags, you'll see Norwegian flags. You'll see there's Michael Chance. He represented Canada.
Mm-hmm.
He had Georgia Limited, I think. And look at her, like she could have went around again.
Yeah.
You know, she just
and harness racing, like that's like you're saying, that's a huge sport worldwide. Like Djokovic, the guy from Denver, the center from Denver, is a massive harness racer. I mean, he owns horses in his home country. And I actually, Tim Tetrick, I talked to his people and I said, why don't you bring Djokovic to the Gold Cup and Saucer to see it? And the guys, they're like, what? It wasn't Tetrick, I was talking to his people. I said, honestly, like I just said to them, seriously, like if he loves harness racing, bring him to the Gold Cup and Saucer.
Yeah,
see an event.
He's not done yet. He might get there yet, but anybody that's been to the Gold Cup and Saucer had the experience of being there or being a part of it.
It's unbelievable.
It's something they cherish the rest of their life for sure. Just the kind of the build up to it, and it's one of the most special races in the world. So
yeah, I went to it live for the first time a couple years back.
I've been in a lot of good races, and I don't know if I've been in any better. So
I was rooting for you last time you were with pairing with what was that horse you had that jumped there? That thing was wild. That thing was all over the place. I seen that at the post or the post parade, and that horse's head was going all over the place. I'm like, geez, this isn't looking.
Yeah, that was probably one of my worst racing experience. That's probably I should have brought that one up as my worst racing experience because that was not fun.
No, it wasn't really your fault either. I don't think, but I didn't mean to bring it up. I didn't bring it up the salary or anything like that. But
he was out of his mind that night. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just too long for him. He was one of them Australian horses, and they don't look the saddle at all.
You know, he wasn't the horse for that race. To be honest with you, he was elimination. He
dominated elimination,
minutes, and then in the other, like waiting around and that's part. Listen, that's part of the package that comes with that. And I don't want them to change. I don't want them to change a thing about the Gold Cup. I love the post parade. I love the spotlight. I love everything they do about it. So don't change anything. If just because that horse didn't like it, that's our not the people that organize that race.
Exactly.
Most special races in the world.
I was going to show Gold Cup. We showed it on your first podcast, Wally. And what I'll do is I'll add them on to like a little playlist. But I'm going to do 2 more races. I'm going to do Joda's last race that he had. I found that on YouTube.
His last drive,
yeah, from December 31st.
Pretty sad when Jode hung them up. Jode was an all-time great. He's in my eyes, he was as good as anybody I've ever driven.
Did you know, Jody, you're going to retire at that point?
I'll tell you when I knew I was going to retire, when I had trouble getting on the bike. Uh, yeah, you know what I mean? Somebody doesn't have to tell you. Somebody, you see somebody, they see you in the street, say, Jesus, Jody, I haven't seen you for a long while. You put on weight. I said, yeah, thanks for telling me.
Yeah, great.
But no, I would, when you listen, if you're not driving night in and night out, you're only in somebody's way out there, and that's not my style. I like to be competitive, and if I'm not competitive, I don't want to do it. I was lucky and fortunate enough that I had great owners, great horses, and I'll go out with a smile on my face. I'm not. I don't regret anything that. But no, I had enough of it, and like I said, I know what I had enough. I think that was the only win I had that year. Imagine that.
I was stats somewhere, so maybe I'll look it up for you. Well, here's the last race. I'll bring it up here and I'll do the same thing. We'll get the volume down. We'll do Advance's call, but we're going to bring it down so everybody can talk over it. This is New Year's Eve 2012. Let's bring that up a little bit.
Wow, Joe, 2012.
Yeah, that's the last time I was at the gate. I tell you what, I still headed for the boiler.
Look at him going out of there.
Yeah. Out of there. But
I think I was there that night.
you were.
I'm in the winner's circle.
Yeah. And Shelley was there. My wife. My wife. You think I won the Gold Cup? That was my last drive.
I have the picture of it too for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and my family was there. It was.
And we
Yeah,
raced
it was so
them out.
cold. You couldn't. Yeah, it was cold. It was cold.
It was cold.
Jody, was that going to be your last drive, win or lose?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I wasn't. Like I said, I wasn't driving daily, and I don't think that probably was only my second drive of the night. So I'm not you. If I couldn't be competitive, I was competitive whatever I done. But no. Anyway, I give her a half decent steer at least. Anyway.
Yeah, I thought you'd carry that fellow a little further.
No, well, she's had never had much power. You know, she was glad to get some shelter.
I don't think I've ever seen this race, Joe.
Yeah, you were out after Wally, and
I was there.
I thought you come out.
Oh, I was there that day. It was New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
that was one of the first times they did like a New Year's Eve theme at Red Shores. You know, they had the.
Geez, I give her a nice party drive. But anyway, yeah.
And it was cold that night. I remember. I near froze.
Anyway, yeah, she's. I've been there a chance.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, as you can see, she's not very fussy about getting out there. But
oh no.
Yeah, she looks like she's stomping grapes around this bottom turn there.
That's a good memory for you, Jody, right there.
Yeah, that's my last drive.
Yeah. That's pretty sad. I'm not looking forward to it.
Hey, good job you made a skip. Hey, if you might have made a skip, I might have had to go for another one.
I don't know if you were going to get the victory if that fella don't step on his.
Well, if you don't make a break, I don't think I win it. I might have to go for it.
Breaks at the end, yeah. He breaks at the end. I remember when I watched it. Yeah.
But anyway, when you look back at that and you see what you've done before that, and you see that, you know when it's time. It's nobody's got to tell you when it's time. You know when it's time.
I want to find.
When the drivers are heavier than the horses, you know that you better get on.
There I am.
Looks like a 45-gallon drum there with a suit on.
That was New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
he's got them checkers spread out pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
he's lighter now.
Yeah. Holy Jesus, I'm kind of embarrassed looking at it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, buddy.
It was the best.
I'm not just saying this. You're my brother, but you were ultra competitive, to be honest.
Well, I like
you were more than competitive. You were ultra competitive, and you were great at what you done, and you should be proud of what you done. And
yes, I'll tell you what, the bettors loved them because you got your $2 worth.
I'll tell you what. From the time I started, I was surrounded with some pretty nice people there, and people that believed in me. I didn't get off to the greatest start in the world. So once I got myself leveled off and I got surrounded with some good people, and yeah, I was very fortunate. So
Yeah.
So people say right on that. That picture there is from '83. I had a
Yeah.
person message me. I had all these pictures, and then me and
Yeah.
Daniel St. Louis were trying to find the person who has these pictures. So one more thing, couple more things real quick. This is for I didn't show this part for you, Gordy. This is the picture for the Atlanta Sire 61.
Yeah, that's another one of Earl's hair. Must
Yeah,
be
that's the same race.
horse.
That was the same one. Yeah, yeah. That's Cassandra. I know Cassandra, his daughter, and she's on there, and there's Earl, and you're there, so that's pretty cool.
Nice
And I have
horse.
one here. And you probably don't see this because there's four of us, and it could like a cramped picture. But
Yeah.
I'll just like take. Let's say I'll take Gordy for a second. Well, you can kind of see your family. That's the background picture. Is this picture here? That's our background picture. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you see up in the corner
That's
too.
a nice picture, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Our sister Bobby down the front row there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lost
I'll
her.
tell
She
you
loved
what,
her race.
what a supporter she
Yeah,
was, eh?
yeah.
You-
She wouldn't be
Somebody
able
was
to talk
ever in
about
the
the
hey, somebody in the grandstand said something about any of us. She could read in her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's about 4'11".
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a beautiful picture. Great memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great memory there too. I think
Yeah,
I was the
lovely
last
pic-
one. I was the last one to leave that. Not YMCA.
Yeah, down the bar downstairs. Yeah.
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 That's a bowling
where's
alley.
that
That's
at?
a
The rec
bowling
center.
alley.
Rec center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was the last man
So-
out the door.
So the last race that we have, and I thought this was kind of cool because when I was setting this all up, like when I set it up, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just grabbing things, and like hopefully it all comes into place. And I talked to Gordy, and I said, "What do you need for what race do you have?" And Gordy writes me like a fucking paragraph. So I respect but I'm just like, what are you supposed to do with this? I can races from like the '82. I'm like, I can't find these races 1982.
Yeah.
But I found this is a race I really like a lot because none of you guys are driving this horse. It's Joey or Gordy's horse tradition with Adam Murner, but the whole family's in the winner's circle at the end.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a cool last race of the show, right? You know, kind of because the whole family's there.
Yeah.
Nice
horse we got here.
Yeah.
I cited
involved in this horse, and it was great.
Yeah, it's a great horse.
Jody was there. It was a real nice
Yeah.
race.
He's in tomorrow night where he should win.
Yeah. If Adam gives him a good drive.
Well, Adam will give him a good drive.
Oh, yeah.
He'll anyway.
We're gonna bring it up
Wake
here.
him up.
This is from
Yes,
Old
this
Home
is
Week.
the Thursday night of Old Home Week too, and it's a big night Thursday night.
Oh yeah, it's huge night Thursday night.
Oh yeah, there's a good crowd. And
Wally was there that night.
yeah, yeah.
I was there.
And
Yeah.
it's our grandfather's race and my father's race is on that same night, so
Yep.
it was quite
I'm-
a race on that night. I never ever did win the wall of Hennessey, but Jody and Wally both had win it, I think.
No, Wally beat me one night. I Glengale Major. He had
Probably won a Big John's again.
no, he was one
Spin
of
and dandy.
Oh, Spin
and
Dandy, yes.
Dandy. Yeah, beat me at the wire.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't make any difference. One of us won it.
Yeah.
No, this has been a great little horse for us, and my sister Lori got involved in the game, and,
Yeah.
it's nice to have her with us, and my wife Giselle, who does a lot of the work in this horse. And a full of
That's cool. Yeah.
Now there's what they say about look at that horse. They had him beat off the gate, but they couldn't cross over. But he's got small front ends this race. That horse. He's just a good horse.
Yeah. Excuse me.
And it's
Are we getting a boom here? Are we going to get a
oh
boom?
yeah,
And
they're three wide here.
no,
That's one thing about Old Homie. It's ultra competitive.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
But this horse was extra special that night, and it's the fastest win I ever had, like as a trainer. And
Yeah.
it's a pretty nice thrill for me.
And Vance, give Vance's credit. We love Bingham. I love Bingham, but Vance is great, man.
Oh yeah.
Vance makes it entertainment for sure.
Sure.
I went to Gold Cup live, and the first few races were
Wally,
Vance was in
you
the
and I
car.
and Kelly were in the center field that night watching.
Yeah. No, that
Yeah.
was nice. Yeah.
Well, that was so special for me. Like that horse won that night. Money can't buy that stuff. Hey,
Yeah.
That was a good night.
yeah.
It was good. Yeah, it was good.
You know, the whole family was there. It was just so because it's hard to win a race all home week.
Oh, yeah.
From all over the Maritimes, and it's ultra competitive. It is. And Adam does a great job with this horse. He gets along with,
Well, he gets along with them good, and
like myself. I'm like Jody there. I'm on the
Yeah.
twilight years right now.
yeah,
I'm just way out there pretty much too. But there's a lot of nice young driving talent on the island.
Oh, yeah.
We're so fortunate to have them all here. And there's probably a half a dozen of these guys could go anywhere, and he's one of them.
yeah,
And there's the Magic, man. We beat the Magic, man.
yeah, the Magic, man.
Bill's
Yeah,
been around for a while, and
yeah,
quite a driver himself.
yeah, I was lucky he beat the Magic.
Yeah. That horse that he beat there's been blown, and he's quite a nice horse.
I guess he is. He raced at Woodbine there
He's
all
winning
winter.
up to Longo in 52.
Yeah, 50, that was 53. Keep going. Go ahead. I just, maybe we'll go quiet all of a sudden.
So funny, he'll give you everything he's got.
Yeah.
We all come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody, yeah.
It
was like the Gold Cup for them people because they'll never have a horse that
No, go that kind of
have a horse like this. They couldn't afford a horse that's any better than the one they got
And
here.
I gotta say thank you to Gary McDonald. Gary McDonald picked this horse out for us and
Yeah,
bought him for us for a very good price. And I always told him if you ever find one or see one, and he says I got one for you. Now when we first got him, this horse was dead tired, but after a year's rest, he come back to be a nice little horse for us. And he's bred well. He's an always be Mickey, which is
yeah. No, he's
all he
just
knows.
a good horse.
He's a. We were just lucky to get him.
And the F53, that's good. But then we'll keep this going because it's going to show the whole family at the end, so we'll keep it rolling. I love red swords. I watch red swords all the time. And I try to bet and I lose. I actually won. I won a super high five last year. I lost. I won a super high five and the pick five in the same.
He's beautiful horse, eh? Well, the good ones don't look good, don't they?
Yeah, and look at the manners he's got. Like
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The good ones are good, eh?
He's just scrolling back.
Yeah, the good ones come
Yeah,
back.
he's not pulling or not.
Yeah, the good ones walk around waiting to go at the gate.
Yeah, no, it's very nice. I was there that night. It was great
Yeah,
throw
you
from
were
there as well.
Yeah, well, he had his buddy up there, Mark Beckwith, who's
Yeah, and
Big friends of
James
Paul.
was there too. James was there, and James and his wife Nancy and
Yeah.
they were all,
Carl Jameson.
Carl was there. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to get a
And
legend.
I couldn't have missed that race because I was up buying the rounds.
Yes. Yeah, you're in.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to have a legends
So
race.
I couldn't have missed it. Only that there was nobody in there. I'd have missed the race. I went in there and got 7 or 8 beer. I
Yeah. Dude, we must have missed that one, Joe. I missed that
Yeah.
one. I missed that round. Yeah. Yeah, nice winner circle presentation.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
good
yeah.
crowd out for it.
Great
Like in,
thrill.
pretty well, everyone that's in that winner circle, they're related to us one way or
I see.
another.
I see another owner in the background there.
Yeah,
not
he's a
saying
silent owner, Dougie. He's
Yeah,
a
over
there's
the back.
Mark going there, walking there. But
Yeah.
and that's Adam's brother there, Adam Seal, is it with the head?
Max. Yeah, Max down by the head.
Yeah.
I was usually watch there.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? There's not any more people at the Gold Cup. Look at this now.
Yeah, it's
And
very nice.
ironically, that's one of Adam's owners there. Had a brother that passed, and that race was in honor of him. So it was special for us to win that race.
Tradition captures the Jeff May Memorial with the winner's circle.
Was that me that picked him up, Gordy, or
Now
something?
they picked, yeah, you had him by the arm, yeah.
So I thought that was I think that was a pretty cool. Yeah, okay, I'm on mute. I'm
Yeah.
looking at my microphone.
Especially having it on our night, eh? That's the wall.
Yeah. No, I thought-
I'd say.
So good morning, really, bud. Let me leave you out there. I know we kind of didn't give you all your accolades that you deserve. I wanted to get you I really because you got that big race in '96. We already showed it. It's like I showed it
Yeah, I
again.
know.
It's, a little,
It's hard
it's
to
a
find
little,
any of the stuff from back when I was,
and the problem with it is, I'll be honest,
geez, I win the Walter Dale, and I never ever got a tape of that one.
the '90s for me, I got a box downstairs of about 70 beta tapes
Yeah.
from 1988 to 1993. If I can find a beta player that'll play them, I'm gonna record them and put them on the site.
Yeah.
90s, hard to
Some
find.
of Gordy's wins under the cover.
Yeah. But we'll find them and we'll keep them up. But I love doing all this.
I've
It was
done a
great.
lot of races at Moncton there too, eh?
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
has nothing from Moncton.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a shame. Really, that was a nice track too.
Well, I have a few tapes. If you go on the site, I have 2 Moncton tapes
Yeah, they're
from
very-
'85. Yeah,
What
they're
was that
hard to
little
find.
track outside of Moncton there they had there?
Well, there was one in Shediac.
Yeah, no, before that, I think it's a matinee track.
Oh, Port Elgin.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's in Bucktush or something.
Oh yeah, Bucktooth. Yes, they raced there on Sundays. Like it was just like
Yes, okay, that's
Matt
something
Page,
similar to Burnett.
yeah.
Port Elgin coming up from the island. It was going on, but yeah. So and everything else. That's pretty much. I mean, I could go on for hours. But we're 2 hours 15 minutes. And I figured I took enough of your guys' time and let you get back to your lives and stuff. But again, much appreciated from everybody. You guys are awesome. Wally, thank you again for being on for like the 30th time, and Gordy and Jody and Joey Lynn for helping out, and Shelly and everyone that helped out. I appreciate it because it goes to like more about Jerry McKay, Mike Ellsworth, everyone in the background. I mean, yeah, I do a lot of work, but them guys are awesome. Like, I love that I can come to anyone and say, hey, like when I come to you, what do you need? Like, what races do you want to give me? Usually, like, well, find this race that you can't find. Here's a whole bunch of them you won't be able to find. But no, I love doing it, and I love it when you guys talk about races. Basically, because for people that don't drive, they don't see that side of it. When you guys get in there,
Scott, a lot of people that don't drive don't get near the credit to the guys that are driving.
Yeah.
If you take the caretakers and the people in the background there that do all the work, and the drivers, they're out there driving the horses. Don't forget the caretakers in there put a lot of hours in.
Yeah.
And they deserve the credit, but they don't really get recognized like the fellas that's sitting on the seat, right? So without them caretakers, some of them wins wouldn't have happened. So
I mean, mostly for the fans too. Like people just watch the sport, don't race, and then they hear you guys talk over races.
Yeah.
But that's something that they find cool. And I mean, it came from Gordy. Like Gordy did it the last podcast. I thought that was so awesome because Gordy was so enthusiastic about it. I thought, well, let's try it again. So you guys were awesome. I much appreciate you being on because again, awesome podcast, lots of fun. And I'll let you guys get back to what you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and edit for the next 6 hours.
anytime you call, Scott. But anyway, we'll get the family in here, will we?
Bring them all. Yeah, bring everybody in before we leave. So bring everybody in. Let's bring the whole.
Hey, Scott,
van in.
Scott, I'd like to say I said it last time as well, buddy, but thank you for everything you're doing for racing in Atlantic Canada. There, not just the history, everything else.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's well appreciated by a lot of people, and continue to do it. Like these are memories that now
This is Lori
somewhere, and it's never going to go away. And had you not done this kind of stuff, we never would be able to have this. So whoever helps you, Scott, everything you do for us, appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
you
we'll
do a great job too, Scott. And it's great that you reach out to us, fellas. Like the older you get, sometimes you even forget what you done. So it's nice to have people
No, that's
like
awesome.
you. That
Doug, is Doug not there tonight? Is Doug there?
I appreciate it. We're gonna have a little surprise coming up in the next few weeks, possibly. I don't want to give anything away, but I'm going to go. I'm talking to someone about something, but we'll leave it at that.
We had a great.
Yeah.
There he is.
There's Dougie and Laurie. This is Dougie and Laurie.
How you doing, bud?
Yeah.
The connections
Anyway,
to
we'll
that
see
last
you
one.
later, Wally.
What's that?
We'll see you later.
Yeah, I'll be home, old home week. Coming home.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll see you guys on
I
the night.
hope to talk to you before then, but anyway.
Okay.
Well, I'll see you. I'll see you up there too. I'm going up Thursday to Sunday, so I'll see you up Old Home Week
Scott,
also.
if you come here, look Shelley and I up, and we'll be more than glad to show you around if you.
Definitely. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Show you around. He won't buy you around.
I don't mind. I'll take you out some night for supper.
Yes.
All right, guys.
What was in that beer?
Yes. I got some coupons here.
Thanks for everything, Scott. So take care,
Thanks,
guys.
I got 2 coupons.
All right, guys.
Okay, thank you.
I will get one free. All right.
Okay, see ya.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you all later. All
See you
right,
later.
bye-bye. Thanks, guys. Okay, everybody, another episode of the History EPR podcast. I hope everybody liked it. I'm pretty sure you guys did. It was a lot of fun. Jody, Waldley, and Gordy are always a good time to have on the show, and watching them watch the old races and talking about them, it's a lot of fun. It's a different perspective of seeing the race, and them guys have some good memories. They think they don't. They definitely do. I want to thank some people before we finish the podcast. I first want to thank Joy Lynn Matheson for all her help with the audio and everything tonight. Everyone's in the same house, and sometimes in the same room. It can get a little tricky, but Joy Lynn was awesome and got them issues figured out pretty quickly. I want to also thank Jerry McCabe for providing certain races for the podcast, which Jerry's always good for that. Does it a lot. He's great like that. Trevor Fizzle, I want to thank him. I didn't use the video that he had on his page, but I asked if I could. He was more than welcome to let me use it. So I want to thank him anyway for that. Mike Ellsworth, another person I want to thank. And everybody else who provides pictures. And, it's a little bit of a process getting a podcast set up. It takes a few weeks and getting everything that I need. But Gordy Hennessey, I want to thank Gordy because Gordy helped me a lot too, like I said in the podcast. I also want to thank our sponsors, Two Fat Guys, as you've seen earlier in the show. Quickly, that's on Bayside Drive next to the Ultramar. It's just like a little hole in the wall kind of diner. It's really cool. It's takeout only, cash only. But first off, prices are awesome. Cheaper than going McDonald's. And personally, I feel like you're getting a better meal of the deal. And they're open from Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. They'll be open on the weekends starting in the summertime. They'll be open on Saturdays. I think it's going to be starting in late June, maybe. But keep an eye out. If you're in the area, definitely check it out. And the guys are really cool. Evan, my good friend of mine, works down there. And Harold DeFazio's nephew owns it. So definitely check that place out also. And again, next time we'll see you on the History PR podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, comment. That actually helps out a lot. So until next time, we'll see you again.
Just watch it live at Exhibition Park. Come on and live it at Exhibition Park. The real life fun of harness racing.